Go to get your game on. Go for the beers. Go for the cheers. Go for the hit and the hits. Go for the stakes and the stakes. Go to get your parlay on. Go to get your party on. Go for the scene. Go for the screens. Go for the gallery. Go for the win. Go to Ocean. Visit theoceanac.com to plan your visit.
The greatest fans on earth. It's a bold statement, but would you expect anything less from Philadelphia? 58 years of heartache creates a toughness, a grit, a resolve not found in most. Sure, our prayers were answered, but now that we've had a taste, we're looking for more. Lehocky, official partner of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Following the biggest offseason of moves and acquisitions by General Manager Howie Roseman, the expectations of this city have never been higher. Welcome to the 2022 Lehocky Postgame Show on 6abc.com and across the JAKIB Sports YouTube channel, exclusively presented by Lehocky Giordano. Live from the Gallery Bar, booking games inside Ocean Casino Resort. Let's get this postgame show underway. EAGLES, Eagles.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. It is time for the Lehocky Eagles post-game show. I am Mike Missinelli with Derek Gunn. Seth Joyner, Devin Caney will join us later. They are now 7-0, another routine victory for the Philadelphia Eagles. Today, it was the A.J. Brown show. A.J. Brown just going off for the Eagles today. A bunch of touchdowns for big plays. Even Zach Pascal gets into the act. The Eagles actually scored one touchdown where they had to take a snap in the red zone, which shows you how efficient they were busting up the big plays. That's what they want to do. They're always talking about those impact plays. They did it again today. A rather routine victory for the Eagles. I'm not going to sit here and complain about anything. Guys, how you feeling?
You know, the interesting thing about this game was, you know, we've been spoiled so much to watch them run the ball effectively. And obviously they identified something early in this game where they knew that the A.J. Brown matchup, whoever they put him on, was a no contest. And I tell you what, Jalen Hurts was dropping dimes today, man. What an efficient passing game for Jalen Hurts on this day. The Eagles, we knew they would win decisively. I didn't think it would be this decisively, but the bottom line is they're 7-0 and rolling right now, Seth.
Well, listen, it's one of the more complete games, you know, that you would expect for them. You know, we expected for this team to win this football game. But they played good football all the way through this game, especially on the offensive side of the ball. Just consistent all game long. They didn't really run the ball as much as they normally do, but they still averaged, you know, over 4 yards a carry. So when they needed to run the ball, they ran the ball effectively. I think that, you know, this is the game that everyone has been waiting on the Eagles to put together, a complete game from start to finish. They scored in the first quarter. They came back. They scored 2 touchdowns in the second quarter. They scored in the third and the fourth quarters. So obviously the time off helped the coaching staff to figure some things out and figure out how to get a complete game. And I would assume, because I just know from experience, you know, no matter how good you play, you know, when you look at the film, there's some things that you know you missed. And no matter how bad you play, it's never as bad as you think it is. There's some things that you did good. But this is a good win coming off the bye for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, and you know, it's the same script. They seem to do it every week where they just load up on a team, they get ahead comfortably. whenever a team makes a mini run, and the Steelers made the very mini of miniest runs, they answer with a 2-play touchdown, bang, and then in the second half they say, we're not going to let you beat us with a big play. Kenny Pickett had a decent day for a rookie. He made a lot of completions. But, the Eagles are going to follow this script, Seth. And I know it sometimes irritates us that they don't get more aggressive, especially with a young quarterback. But they're in control so much of the time that maybe he's doing the right thing.
Well, listen, I don't have any issues with what they do on the offensive side of the ball, until they get to a point where they get too pass heavy. But obviously they saw a matchup with A.J. Brown today that they thought that they could exploit. And they knew that Pittsburgh wasn't just going to sit back and allow Jalen Hurts to sit in the pocket and operate from the pocket, so they came at him. And every time they came at him, he hurt him. So I don't have a problem with that. The issue sometimes can be, with me, is on the defensive side of the ball. Because you got a rookie quarterback who's just still learning, the complexities of defenses at the highest level. And you don't come after him, you don't put pressure on him all day, you only blitz him one time. Yeah, I'm going to keep saying it because you know what? When after Jordan Davis got hurt and they had to go to their 4-man front, they got no pressure all day long.
What have I been saying all season? This 4-man front is not good enough to just get home against some teams. You look at the defensive front like Buffalo's. They can 4-man front you all day because their personnel is just that good. For as much money as that's invested in this Eagles 4-man front, I don't understand why it doesn't do a better job on its own of getting pressure on the quarterback.
Well, I can tell you why, D-Gun.
Why is that?
Listen, they don't have the premier outside rusher. That's the first thing. You might have it in Hassan Reddick, but I've been saying even when they signed him, he's a good pass rusher,
yes,
maybe above pass rusher, but he's not an elite pass rusher. An elite pass rusher is a guy that you have to worry about every single down, okay? Now, he's going to get his sacks. After 7 games, he's got 5.5 sacks. That's pretty darn impressive.
Absolutely.
Okay? But the leaders had 6 sacks after 4 games. Those are the elite level guys. And because they don't have that elite level outside guy, that puts the pressure on everybody else. Then when you have to go to the 4-man front, the problem is when you go 4-man, that means that somebody's got to be double. And when somebody's double, if those guys on the outside don't win, or if they kick out and help on the guy on the outside, and somebody doesn't win their one-on-ones, then you got a problem. So especially if you're going to sit back and you're going to play zone behind it, now you give a young quarterback time to decipher what's going on in front of him and pick it apart.
All right.
I say this every week. You're not wrong. But I can't sit here and play, well, what about later? I just, the way this team handles their business every week.
They find a way to win.
Mike, you better prepare for later. Because the thing is,
you're presuming that the same thing is going to happen later if they play a good team. Now, I don't know who that good team is. I assume it's Dallas. Maybe it's the Giants. I don't know. Green Bay comes out of nowhere. I don't know who it is.
What did I say from the beginning of the year? I said, I watch how a team plays over the long haul. Because what? The future habits, the past habits are a future preview of what you're going to see down the road. And we're still seeing the same thing. So let's say that we get to a Christmas Eve against Dallas, and Dallas is rolling, and we got to have that game, okay? You're going to tell me that mode of operation is going to win you games against that offense if they're rolling and they're 100%?
I don't know if it is or not. What I can tell you here is that you're right about today. You would think with a young quarterback that he would put a little more heat on him. But I think that Jonathan Gannon looks at this and goes, we are so in control of every game that I'd be stupid to allow a big play to get them back in the game. So maybe the script changes. Maybe when you need to blitz an Aaron Rodgers or you need to blitz a Dak Prescott, he will do that because he didn't blitz at all today.
We've seen
CJ Gardner-Johnson
we've seen him blitz before a lot more than he did today. You're right. It doesn't make sense.
What's the definition of a lot more?
Well, there are times when he's blitzed
They've never been over 14% blitzing in a game ever. Ever.
But more than one.
Ever.
More than one.
Ever.
Okay.
Do you know where that ranks you?
I get it.
Do you know where that ranks you in the NFL?
I get it. I get it. My point is they have blitzed more than one time, and I don't know what's going to happen against a good quarterback. I really don't. It doesn't make sense they wouldn't blitz Pickett. I get it. But look, it's 35-13. They win the game, and whenever the other team makes whatever kind of run, they've got an answer, and they just run and hide again.
Nobody's debating whether they, the fact that they won or not. This is a game that they won. We expected for them to win. Okay, I expected for the offense, to be able to score like this because the Pittsburgh defense is really not that good. What I really expected was for Jonathan Gannon to take an opportunity against a young quarterback and a struggling offense with a bad offensive line to turn up some heat and work on some of his pressures. There were plenty of times where you got 2nd and 10, 3rd and 12, 3rd and 15, where you could come. And sometimes it's not so much just about the pressure. Football is a field position. It's a real estate game. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Even if you have to punt. They only punted twice today. Yeah. But even if the offense is having a bad day, and I guarantee you somewhere along the line, the offense is going to struggle, and they're going to need the defense to carry the day.
I can't argue with that.
So when you start talking about – wait a minute. Let me finish.
Go ahead.
When you start talking about football is a real estate proposition, okay? When you go sticks and you give up 13 of the 14 is necessary for a first down, now all of a sudden, guess what you've done? You've taken 13 yards away from your offense when the ball is punted in the other direction.
Derek, 17 sacks coming in. Their pressure rate was 28.9%. That's not terrible. So I got to think that the defense coordinator is looking at that and says, we're okay there. Maybe I could blitz a little more. Hargrave got home today. Hargrave was a beast today. So,
yes, he was.
Yeah, so, I don't know. We keep talking about that he's got to be more aggressive. And I go, show me a team where that lack of aggression is going to really hurt him. You're saying, I don't want it to get to that point. I want preventive maintenance. That's what you're saying, right? I look at it and go, they don't need, I'm sitting there and complain about it when they don't need it right now.
Hey, D-Gun, part of good defensive coordination is giving the other team's offensive coordinators a bunch of stuff to prepare for it, okay? So if I don't have much of my blitz package, we're not worried about it that much because they don't blitz.
I can't argue.
I sit here, and I'm going to sound like a politician because I want to appease everybody. You make a valid point. When you look at what they've done through the first 7 games defensively, no matter how much real estate they give up, they find a way to shut it down. They are plus 13 in the takeaway department. That's far head and shoulders above everybody else in the National Football League. They make a necessary stop when they have to. They get an occasional sack when they have to. But with this offense playing the way it is, and Seth, you're right. Would we like to see more consistency in terms of turning up the heat on quarterbacks? Absolutely. But when you look at who they were playing today in a Kenny Pickett, did you really worry about a Kenny Pickett coming into this game? Even if he got on the road, were you worried about a Kenny Pickett beating you in any way, shape, or form? Absolutely not.
Listen,
he's going to grow in a lot of ways.
I'm not worried about him being able to beat us, but what I do know is the kid has the ability to make all the throws. Okay,
right.
So when
he's got a good collection of receivers.
So when you get up in a game like this, and let's say you're 14 to 17 points behind, things can turn like that. Okay, they can turn like that, and you stand back, you play your 4-man rush. To our point earlier, the 4-man rush is just not dominant or good enough,
right.
Okay? And the kid stands in the pocket and gets confidence to throw the ball, and he's moving the ball all up and down the field.
Right. And to that end, that's probably why they got Robert Quinn, who did play today and wasn't very effective, but they probably see the same thing you see. At least Howie Roseman sees the same thing you see. But sometimes I think we have a tendency, and by we I mean you, have a tendency to have a 7-0 Rolls Royce, and you lament the fact you don't have a Ferrari that you're driving.
And listen, you want to know one of the greatest things, and we talked about it in pregame. One of the greatest things that plagues athletes is complacency. When you get to a point where you're satisfied, okay. I tried not to ever in my career get satisfied with where I was, no matter how good I played. I always knew that there was another level, and I was always searching for another level, okay? Because that complacency will do you in, especially when you're 7-0. You know, to think that you've arrived, that you've done everything that you can do. Okay, we're like getting to that place now with this football team that if they win 10, 11, 12, 13 games, okay, and they go into the playoffs and they don't go to the Super Bowl, what are we going to be saying?
No, I got it. Listen, I'm not disagreeing with his points at all.
Right.
But what I'm saying is, like, if you're also a player, you're so used to being in control here, and you were so much better in this team, you could see it. That natural complacency, I think, sets in. And it set in before this year because they've been so much better than the opponent they played. I almost want them to be in a struggle so I can see a little more personality of what you're talking about.
I just want them to dominate because I think that they're too damn talented on the defensive side of the ball.
You didn't think today was a domination?
Well, hey, listen, it was dominant, but, I mean, you could have made them go to Mitchell Trubisky, okay? To me, that's what great defense is about. Okay, now you couldn't get there. You can't get there the way that we used to get there. The way that we used to get there, we're going to put you out of the game and find out what your backup can do. Okay? The way that they show dominance is put pressure, force turnovers, and make Tomlin make the hardest decision right now to go back to Mitchell Trubisky because guarantee you they don't want to play him another snap this year. But if this kid would have thrown 4 touchdowns and fumbled the ball twice today because you applied that kind of pressure, at some point he would have had to put Mitchell Trubisky back in the game.
I think when we look at this Pittsburgh Steelers team, the only way they go back to Trubisky is if Kenny Pickett gets hurt.
I agree.
They've identified a few weeks ago that they have to start preparing for the future. And by preparing for the future, they got to take some lumps along the way.
I get it.
They have a good collection of receivers. They don't have anybody to deliver the goods right now. But that's part of the process. Every team goes through this. When you make the transition from a 15, 20-year vet like they had in Ben Roethlisberger to now turning over the reins to what they feel is the heir apparent for their team, they're going to take some lumps.
You also have veterans on the team that are looking at the head coach of the organization sideways.
Absolutely.
Like, how long can you allow this kid to stay in here and throw 4 interceptions a game?
The script, listen, the script has been written. It's like so plain right now. What we see the script is they get a big lead. They dominate whoever they're playing. They go, we can't allow big plays to let them back in the game. If they marginally get back in the game, we've got something in our pocket that'll pull us out and give us the big lead again. Now, would that lead to complacency? I don't know. To your point, maybe it will lead to complacency against a good team. But so far, we can recognize the script that has led them to 7-0. They haven't been touched. And that mindset is the only way this team can get back in the game is if we let them get back in the game. And the only thing that lets them get back in the game is a big play. That's what I think Jonathan Gannon's looking at.
Yeah, but I mean, hey, listen, man. Football is such a complimentary game. That's why when we sit and we watch the game together, we're watching the return game, we're watching the coverage game on special teams, and, you know, I ain't got no hair, so I pluck mine with tweezers. You know, that's how you know absurd it is to really watch, you know, what they do on special teams. You know, the best thing that they got going on special teams is Jake Elliott. Other than that, you know, we're just waiting for it to implode at any moment. But the game is complementary, okay? The defense has to complement the offense has to complement the defense, and the special teams, you know, has to do its job. When one of those 2 phases are lacking, it's time for the special teams to step up and carry, you know, the 2/3 to contribute to that 2/3 of the load. They just can't be a problem. So if you choose to be more aggressive and your offense is operating as efficiently as they were today, okay, what's that? 24 carries for, no, 20 carries for 111 yards, okay? 20 of 30 for 290 yards and 4 touchdowns. That tells me that the offense is operating, you know, proficiently. So even if I do take a chance, guess what? My offense can get it back, you know. But to operate from a position of fear, that, oh, I'm afraid that we might give up a big play. Come on, man.
No.
You can't live life that way, and you can't play sports that way.
I don't think he's afraid. I think he says it's foolish to give up a big play. Like, we're in control. 4 possessions, they get 3 touchdowns. And how do they get them? 39, 27, 29, bing, bing, bing. And now, if you're a player, you go, we got this team, right? This team can't measure up today with us, right? It's a natural inclination, whether it's from a fan or whether it's from a player. Am I right?
Okay, so I'm going to end it right here because you know what? Everybody's going to be bitching and complaining. And all we talking about is the defense not pressuring everybody. Then let's go over and let's talk some offense. I will say this, okay? The one thing about football, there are certain aspects of the game that you don't get to turn on and turn off. If it's not habitual, if you don't do it on a regular basis, when you need to do it, you can't just flip a switch and automatically it happens, okay? So you better learn how to start running some stunts out of your 4-man fronts. You better start running some blitzes out of your 4-man fronts and being creative, dropping safeties down in the box, rotating coverages, doing some different things, because if you don't, when you need to do it, and at the end of the year and into the playoffs, you're going to need to do it, it's going to be too late to conjure it up if you haven't already practiced.
Well, they ran a stunt early in the game, and it led to Hassan Reddick getting the first sack of the game for him. And I understand what you're saying. You want to see more variety in a defensive scheme. But I think Jonathan Gannon told us last year when he said, I don't have a scheme, I have a philosophy. His philosophy is to keep everything in front of him. And whether we like it or not, it is what it is. We're going to be debating it again Thursday night because they're going to play another inferior opponent in the Houston Texans on Thursday night. It's going to be another lopsided type score, and we're going to see probably the same thing. The bottom line right now, we're going to have to be content to a certain degree with getting to the finish line with way more wins than losses, maybe at the most 1 loss when you look at what's left on the schedule. They have 2 games coming up against the Giants, 1 against the Dallas Cowboys on Christmas Eve. I think those are the only 3 real matches they have left on this schedule.
Let's look at the mechanism of this game a little bit and how it transpired, right? Because they get to early on, they get the play action bomb to A.J. Brown. Minka Fitzpatrick, one of the best safeties in this league, right? And A.J. Brown goes up, and Minka didn't fight him, and that kicks it off. That big touchdown, Minka was just too passive on that play and allowed A.J. Brown to take it away from him, and boom, they're off and running. And then the Steelers come back with a very crafty play with Chase Claypool, who knew he was left-handed. They give him a little end sweep, and he throws a little pass for a touchdown, and then they come right back. Bam, another. Akilla Witherspoon got destroyed today by A.J. Brown. They give up another long touchdown and then another one, 21-7. And it's like, okay, here we go. We're just a dominant team again.
You have to give the Eagles coaching staff a lot of credit for identifying early in this game what was the best matchup possible for them. Every week is somebody different. That's what I love about this offensive structure more than anything else. One week it could be the running game. Next week is Devontae Smith. The next week is Dallas Goedert. Today it was A.J. Brown's turn again. They identified that Pittsburgh had nobody in that secondary that could match up with A.J. Brown from start to finish in this game. They attacked it early. They dared Pittsburgh to stop it. Pittsburgh could not stop it. A.J. Brown's hand strength alone is impeccable. His hand strength, that first touchdown, he went up and took it between 2 defenders. His hand strength is incredible. He may not be the fastest guy out there, but I can't find many receivers in the game that are as physically strong as him. You can't match up against him one-on-one. He's got a quick burst. He will out-muscle you. You will not take the ball away from him. I mean, he's got like vice-like grips on his hands. He reminds me a lot of DeAndre Hopkins in terms of when you get the ball in the hand, you're not getting the ball away from him.
That was the matchup. They go, Witherspoon can't cover him in
that
situation. The only hope they had was Minka Fitzpatrick can come over the top
and they kept going back.
And when he came over the top, he didn't make the play. So they get off and run. And it was like these long touchdowns are just backbreakers. They just kill you. And the Eagles just executed a boom, 4 possessions. They got 3 touchdowns out of it. They're off and running. The Steelers get a flimsy field goal. The Steelers could not get the ball in the end zone. We knew it. They're not going to score a lot of touchdowns in this game. The defensive coordinator probably knew it as well. And even Zach Pascal gets into the act on a big play. They just big played him to death, and that's what they yearn to do every week.
See, listen, I'm going to give you know, we can talk about A.J. Brown. I want us to look at one Jalen Hurts because
tremendous.
Because this is the 7th game for them, week 8. Do you realize when we went into week 1 of this season, there were many people that were wondering out loudly whether Jalen Hurts could be the franchise guy, okay? And even coming into this game, people looked up and said, oh, my God, you know, he's got 6 passing touchdowns and 6 rushing touchdowns. When you look at the top-tier quarterbacks, you know, they all got double-digit, you know, touchdown passes, you know. So then you look at Jalen Hurts coming into this game today, and listen, the ball that Minkah Fitzpatrick missed, he just misplayed it.
Yeah.
I mean, when you really stop and look at that ball, should have been intercepted.
It should have been.
And that ball that he threw, it really should have went to Devontae Smith on the under route, you know. But Jalen Hurts just
throw
he put it up there for his guy to go get it.
Exactly.
All the other throws were in the breadbasket. Every last one of them.
You're absolutely right. Every touchdown throw he made was gold. All right, so we're going to talk a lot more about this game. But joining us, as he does every week from the Eagles locker room, the great right tackle, Lane Johnson, joins us from the locker room. Lane, good to see you back and healthy. And it's got to be really refreshing where you guys don't have to grind it out in the red zone and you get those big plays for big yardage, 25-plus plays.
Yeah, it's an easy day when you just sit back and watch number 11 take over like you did. Yeah, just one of those games where, you know, we didn't have to really rely on the run game that much. And it really, man, just Jalen and AJ just had a heck of a day for us.
Hey, Lane, you guys have spoiled us so much in terms of just running the football down people's throats. We were shocked at one point in this game. You guys only had, 10 carries in the game. And I'm thinking, what's going on here? Obviously, this coaching staff identified, as we've just talked about on this show, that A.J. Brown matched up against anybody in their secondary was a decisive mismatch, and it worked like a charm for you guys. Here's what I want to ask you, as crazy as it sounds. Now, I know players and coaches will never admit this, but let's face it. Everybody looking at this game knew that it was a mismatch, the Eagles against the Steelers team. Do you think sometimes that you guys get complacent? I mean, because you guys went down the field, scored. They scored. You guys go right back down the field and score. You guys go right back down the field and score again, and all of a sudden you're up 21-7. Do you guys have to worry about complacency at times?
Yeah, we just got to focus on being a better second-half team. You know, when adversity hits, it's going to boil down to how you execute in practice, all the little things. It all catches up to you in the end. So, you know, today, I feel like this season we've been starting off pretty hot, and second half has been kind of lackluster. I think we came out and scored right away. And then I think we had a few drives that stalled out. But moving forward, you know, when you play really good teams, you got to play a complete game. So we know that, you know, we got to improve moving forward, but that's on our mind.
Hey, Lane, you know, game planning each week is one thing. You know, when you come out of a bye week, the things that you're able to go in and correct and key break and change and come back, you know, off the bye is a whole different animal. I'm not asking for any specific players or anything, but just kind of give us a bird's eye level of some of the things that was changed from the first 6 weeks leading into week 7 after the bye week.
Yeah, we went over the history of teams like after bye weeks. And what it really boiled down to was ball security, the turnover battle, and that's what we really focused on. A lot of teams, it is what it is. When you lose a turnover battle, you can lose to anybody out there. So it's like we did a great job protecting the football, but coming out the bye week, it's something you have to regain your focus, regain your timing, and really have a great week of practice. I feel like we had that, but really the emphasis we talked about was ball security. You know, Nick went over, I think, a bunch of teams last year. Some of the effects, what happened after the bye week, a lot of it was turnovers compared to what they previously done. So that was the main focus that was on our mind.
Lane, there was some speculation whether you would be ready for this game. The bye week obviously helped you, so take us through the protocol, what you had to do, and when it was determined that you were okay to play.
Yeah, I feel like the Tua situation is I feel like the NFL has definitely made some steps, progressions. yeah, just follow the protocols. It's a little bit more stringent than, I guess, past years. Did some hyperbaric chamber therapy so on the bye week. And, yeah, really I felt good probably 4 days after. But, yeah, I feel like the protocols have definitely improved since the Tua situation. So he had to get checked out by numerous doctors, third-party sources. So that was good. I feel good. And, yeah.
What's the just to follow up on that? What's the hyperbaric chamber do for you?
Well, they're doing studies. A lot of players, former players, for any type of concussions, TBI, CTE. What it essentially does is gets more oxygen to your system and aids recovery. So that's been a asset that we've had all year. So I think guys that had concussions earlier in the year went through the same type of therapy. So, you know, I really noticed it like league-wide. I feel like every team is starting to or has some. But I feel like moving forward, I mean, obviously I'm not a doctor, but from what the research that they've gathered and told us that it's a way to help with head injuries and recovery and get athletes back quicker.
Hey, Lane, players want to play. That's a given. And
Yeah.
we know there's always been a gray area in terms of what is a concussion and what isn't. Sometimes players have gone back into games, and once the sideline doctors have deemed, okay, he's okay, he cleared our initial test. But when you consider how the league and the NFLPA has now changed the concussion protocol, if they deem that if they suspect you have a concussion, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You are out, even if you feel like you've cleared. Are you in total agreement with how the concussion protocol has now been redefined across the league?
Yeah. I mean, from previous years to what I experienced past week, the process is more stringent. You have to meet with more doctors. There's more steps added. But really, yeah, I mean, it's not something that happens overnight. It's a process. So really goes down to symptom scores. Once you progress from that, you go to something else. Once you hit that step, you go to another one until you're finally cleared from an outside source. So, yeah, steps have definitely been added, and I feel like player safety's been put in a better spot.
All right, so Lane, listen, this team's 7-0. They're putting graphics up during the game. The last quarterback to go 9-0. It's very foreseeable as you have some teams that are coming up that you're going to be favored to beat again. And I guess the only thing that we've talked about here is that when you let off the throttle, because you're so much better than the team you're playing, it's a natural inclination to kind of maybe let off and not give up a big play to let the other team back in. Is that a danger for when you actually play a better team?
It's like that movie with Richard Pryor and Gene Wilder. Hear no evil, see no evil. I don't listen to how good we are. I don't watch it. I don't watch Sports Center. I mean, usually I'm going into the building and Stout is on us 24/7. So I keep my focus on that, man. I try not to listen to how good we are, what it is, because any given Sunday you can go out there and get beat. You get embarrassed very quickly. So I've learned that over the course, of a decade and a year in NFL. But we're in a good spot. We know we are, but moving forward, we're going to get everybody's best. So we know that. And like I said, man, hear no evil, see no evil. I'm not listening. I'm not seeing anything.
Hey, Lane, I agree with what you just said, but let's face it, there's very few of you left who know what it takes to get all the way to that big game after what you guys went through in 2017. You look at the makeup of this roster. You have a lot of young guys who don't know what it means not to get caught up in all the hype. You've brought in veteran players. Some of them have never known what it's like to get to the end of the finish line. How much do you guys, the veteran leadership in that locker room, have to constantly police the locker room to remind guys, look, we have to live by the epitome of what we talk about day to day, week to week. We can't be looking ahead at a bigger picture.
Yeah, like I said, man, it all goes out to what you do every day. There was a great quote from we watched earlier this week from Junior Seau. It's like we get paid for practice, Monday through Saturday. Game days are free, so you go out there and put in the work. You set a good example. I mean, I can say from 2017, just all the guys, all the veterans, man, they put in a lot of work I mean, by the end of the week, man, everybody's tired. You can see it in their eyes how much work they put in, and whenever you get to game day, man, you can feel confident knowing you left no stone unturned. That's really what it is, man. It's not during the week it ain't sexy, watching film, 5 hours and then practicing and then more meetings, but that's where the winning's done, man. The game planning, the scheming, the communication. But yeah, man, we have a great group of veterans. We have a lot of hungry young guys, and you need that energy to excel. And really, that's what it's all about, man. Is going to work every day and setting that example.
Lane, last question. You guys have to now go down to Houston, and I'm wondering what the schedule is at this point, because you got the couple days off schedule. I don't know whether you actually will practice. I assume you'll go to Houston on Wednesday. How much practice and prep will you get in for a Thursday night game coming off of this one?
3 days worth. No, I think we'll come in tomorrow. We'll lift, and then I think it'll be a brief review of this game, and then it's off. It's on to Houston. I think it's Houston playing right now, so we may have a few hour jump on them, but really it's a quick turnaround when you have games like this. We try to get in a lot. We're going to get in a lot tomorrow, so tomorrow will be like our regular Wednesday, Thursday. As far as reviewing, practicing might be a walkthrough tempo. I have to check, but yeah, we're back to work pretty much the whole week. Head down there Wednesday and get ready. That's what the NFL is all about, man.
Are you aware of the dynamic here that you play Thursday? The Phillies hopefully are playing that weekend. A contingent of about 30,000 Philadelphians may cascade down on Houston for this.
Yeah, it might be a home game down there for us. Yeah, man, it's a unique situation. I'm not sure. One of the Stros the Phillies play next, is it tomorrow?
Tomorrow and Tuesday, yeah, and Wednesday.
Tuesday and Wednesday. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. It's exciting to watch, and yeah, man, the pitchers and man, they're going through it. That's where it's all at.
Hey, Lane, listen, stay healthy, get your rest this week, and this is a really good ride that everybody's on, and with the Phillies and you guys making everybody feel pretty good in this city. Keep it going.
Thank y'all, man. I appreciate y'all.
Yeah,
all right.
Take care.
That's Lane Johnson from the Eagles locker room. I mean, the timing of this is beautiful. They play the Texans. The Phillies hopefully are in that weekend series with all these nutbags going down there.
I hope it ain't in the weekend. I hope they're done on Wednesday.
Oh, well, okay. Yeah, well, you're right.
Let's be done on Wednesday night.
I don't want this team to go back to Houston.
No, hopefully they don't have to go back to Houston, but it's really going to be a fun situation. Because people on the fly, if they do go back to Houston, people on the fly, hey, let's catch both. Let's go down and catch the Eagles and stick around for the weekend.
Did you see the cost of these World Series tickets, both for Philadelphia and down in Houston? The bottom line ticket price from what we saw is like $877. Top of the line is going for like $7,800 a ticket. That's Seth Joyner money right there.
I got a dilemma.
That's Seth money right there.
So in 08, I was in Arizona primarily, so I missed that one.
Yeah.
The last one that I was actually here for, that I had an opportunity to actually go to, was the Toronto series.
Yeah.
And I was at two of the home games at the old Vet Stadium. And when they made the World Series, I was looking forward to, going to a game. And then all of a sudden I looked at the ticket prices. I'm like, oh, hell no.
Well, I got a dilemma. I'm going to ask you guys for advice.
All right.
I have tickets for Wednesday.
Okay.
If the Phillies win Monday and Tuesday, Wednesday will be the clinching game, which rises the price of that ticket
I know what he's going to say.
On Wednesday. Do I dare think about selling it for the big cash?
Sell them and go to Xfinity and watch it.
I can't do it.
Let me ask you this.
I cannot do it in my heart.
Let me ask you this. If Wednesday could be that clinching game, do you want to, you being the consummate fan that you are, do you want to say that you missed that moment to be in that stadium when it erupts?
No, that's why I can't do it. To me, I would be selling out.
Wait a minute. You said the Wednesday game?
Wednesday game.
No, you got to go on Wednesday. Yeah. If it was Monday or Tuesday, I'm like, deuces, I'm out.
If that's the clinching game, I probably get to $2,000 a ticket.
You got to go, man.
Well, you got to go, man.
That memory,
you got to go.
Hey, listen. Especially if they're in a position to win it on Wednesday.
Can't put a price on the memory, right?
No, you can't do that. Because 10 years from now, people are going to say, where were you, Mike, in that defining moment?
I was in a bar counting my $2,000.
or here at Ocean Casino.
All right. Just one thing as we go into the break, because we're gonna have a great debate with the Devon's Diamond debate, which is coming up in a little bit. This game ended the ultimate humiliation. I'm not going to give away a debate, but the ultimate humiliation with 9-something left. Seth called it the AYOs. Right? Now, Seth, explain quickly what the AYOs are.
Hey, listen, this game should have been over in the third quarter. In the third quarter, the AYOs should have been in the game. That's an old school expression. The AYOs means all you others, okay? That's the second, third, and fourth team guys that haven't played much all year long. They should be in the game. That's what I was referring to.
The all you others were in the game with 9:24 left. Now, we're talking about this proud franchise, the steel curtain, the rings, the terrible towel, the Mean Joe Green frickin' Coke commercial. And at 9:34, the Eagles said, here's our second team. How do you think that fan base felt about that?
Well, you know what? Too bad for the fan base. If that's the case, tell your organization to put a better product on the football field. Plain and simple. You know what? I don't blame Nick Sirianni one bit. I'm getting my guys out. First of all, you lost Jordan Davis early in the game.
And you got a Thursday game.
You got a Thursday night game. We don't know the severity of Jordan Davis's injury yet, but get your guys out of there. They're going to need as much rest as they possibly can get. Short turnaround.
But a second level of that debate is coming up on Devin's Diamond Debate, and you don't want to miss it. It is the Pond Lehocky Eagles post-game show with the crew. We're live at Ocean Casino. You can watch us, and hopefully you're watching this right now on 6abc.com and JAKIB Sports YouTube channel. And we're back after this.
Go to get your game on. Go for the beers. Go for the cheers. Go for the hit and the hits. Go for the stakes and the stakes. Go to get your parlay on. Go to get your party on. Go for the scene. Go for the screens. Go for the gallery. Go for the win. Go to Ocean. Visit theoceanac.com to plan your visit.
Do you stream on a Roku, Fire Stick, Android TV, or Apple TV? Now you can watch 6ABC 24/7 with the 6ABC Philadelphia streaming app.
The big story on Action.
Search 6ABC Philadelphia and start streaming today.
Philadelphia fans, we're cut from a different cloth. Born into a brotherhood and bonded to our team for life. We believe anything is possible because we've witnessed the impossible. While we may be from different neighborhoods, come Sunday, we are one, and we will be heard. Pond Lehocky, official partner of the Philadelphia Eagles.
We all know that taxes are just part of life. It's true during our working years, but also in retirement. But what you might not know is up to 85% of your Social Security benefits might be taxed. Our team at Thrive Financial has helped retire thousands of people across the Delaware Valley by asking questions they never knew they needed to ask, including how their Social Security benefits might be taxed. It's time to be proactive on taxes. Get your Thrive Retirement Tax Playbook today.
Go for the beers. Go for the cheers. Go for the hit and the hits. Go for the scene. Go for the screens. Go for the gallery. Go for the win. Go to Ocean.
Welcome to Pond Lehocky. We've helped over 100,000 injured and disabled workers obtain benefits, as well as some of the biggest settlements in the state. If you've been injured at work, give Pond Lehocky a call.
Score and save in southeastern PA and Delaware with Colony Pools this football season, and let the experts close your pool with a custom Merlin safety cover in green for the birds. And if you join our Winter Watch team, we'll give you another 20% off, and Colony Pools will handle it all. Keep your tiles on your pool, not in your pool. Fly with Colony right now, birds fans. Visit flywithcolony.com.
It's a fall car fest, and Jeff D'Ambrosio, Destination Downingtown, says yes, you can. Jeff says yes, you can choose from over 1,000 vehicles in stock with no wait. Yes, you can still get low prices, leases, and big discounts. Yes, you can still get low interest financing. And Jeff always says yes, you can have a real deal buying experience without the hassle. When the other dealers say no, you can't, Jeff says yes, you can. Jeff D'Ambrosio, Destination Downingtown. Nobody treats you better. Jeep Adventure Days.
Welcome back to the Lehocky Postgame Show. I'm Devin Caney, and it is time for the Diamond Debate presented by Mark's Jewelers. Guys, today I'm wearing a nice little piece of bling. I don't know if you can catch on my wrist. Bracelet from Mark's. Yes, it just keeps getting better and better, I feel. You know?
My goodness.
By the last game of of regular season, I'm just going to be like decked out. They keep upping the ante here.
No, the last game, I'm getting a blinged out watch that I'm going to rock up here. That's what's going to happen.
The thing is, like, you're serious, though. He's just going to outdo me. You just need to.
I just want 1 week out of 17. That's all.
Well, you already had, what, your Tiger, whatever is what is up here?
But I know Mark's Jewelry sell something more than just women's jewelry.
Yeah.
Guys like jewelry too.
Okay, well, Marks, if you're paying attention, Seth would like to do the Diamond Debate.
It's really nice. Does that have a clasp?
It does.
A clasp?
It does. Yes.
Very nicely done.
Do you get to keep any of the jewelry? Not. I mean, like to use out on a date or to use like at your leisure for maybe 3 or 4 days before you have to give it back.
No, I think I'm legally obligated to say no.
What? you got to start negotiating better.
I told this to you guys after the game. It's like you guys think I had time to go on dates, so no, I have nowhere else to wear this jewelry.
See, that's a debate in itself. Would the guy be intimidated by you wearing that kind of bling, or would he say, no, she's got class?
That's a good question. Weigh in the comments, because I don't know.
Or he might have to say, I got to upgrade my financial game.
Yeah, in which case he's out the side door.
Right. It acts as like a filter, like a qualification. If you can't afford this for me, then like it's not even worth it.
You're out. You're going.
Or they're like, they give up already.
If you're wearing that, he has to buy you an app. He's got to go appetizer plus the entree, plus dessert, plus wine, $90 at least.
1 or 2 drinks.
Oh, my goodness.
All right, anyways, so our Diamond Debate topic, and if you guys want to weigh in, it will be up on the JAKIB Media Twitter page as well as YouTube. So there were a lot of celebrations today, and we know, the Batman theme that's been revolving around the receivers. Jason Kelce, I believe, once the Eagles were up by about 22 points and starters were out, put on a Batman mask on the sideline, Fat Batman. I loved it. I thought it was funny. Mike Misnelli, I believe you had a...
Yeah, I got to be honest with you. I'm not against fun. Okay, I like fun.
You're not?
But when you're up and you put your second team in, you can't be putting on a Batman mask. And Kelce, I think Kelce, because Mike Tomlin was on the other side, one of the most well-respected coaches in the NFL, and you're kind of showing him up. Already they're showing him up by putting the second team in. I don't think a Batman mask is a good look. And in fact, I think I saw the offensive line coach,
Jeff Stoutland.
Yes, go over and say something to him, and Kelce took it off. So those guys are thinking the same thing, I think.
Look, first of all, Mike Tomlin is not worried about somebody in the opposition wearing a mask on the other side.
Not the point whether he's worried about it.
You know what? I don't think it's showing. It'd be different if he was running out on the field, showing them up, okay? First of all, your team came in here and it got embarrassed to the point where the home team had to put in the AYOs to finish out this game, okay? That's bad enough for your team. Your team is 3 games below sea level coming into this game. I see a lot of celebrations in today's NFL that I think that are more egregious than a guy standing on the sideline wearing a mask. He's having fun. The team's theme has been Batman forever, okay? And so Jason Kelce decides to put on a mask on the sideline away from the opposition. The opposition's not looking at him doing that. There's nothing wrong with him having a little fun. We see all kinds of celebration. I don't think in this case it was disrespectful towards the other organization. I think he was just playing up the Batman theme that has been prominent throughout this season with his own team.
He should know better. Seth?
It's Halloween.
Oh, there you go.
Have a little holiday spirit about you, Mike.
Seth Joyner?
Hold
Seth
on.
Joyner telling Mike to have fun?
Have a little.
What? Hold on one second.
Have a little holiday spirit about yourself. And second of all, if Mike Tomlin should not be at all insulted by what Jason Kelce did, worry about your own damn sideline. You got bigger problems than a Batman mask.
You know what's funny about you? I got news for you. If you're on the other side of that, and you're a member of the team that's getting hammered, and you look over and you see somebody with a Batman mask, what's Seth Joyner's reaction to that?
I couldn't even see it.
I'm not saying. You just say you see it. You're a player. You're getting housed. You see somebody on the other team with a Batman mask on the sideline, yucking it up. What are you doing?
Listen, there's a side of me that's always been like, you know what? If you want to get mad about something, get mad when you can do something about it. That's during the 60 minutes of the game. Don't get pissed off afterwards. But if it's something that I think is disrespectful, guess what? I'll see you down the road later on. I'll see you down the road next year or the year after. I'll take care of it then. But I'm not going to make I'm not going to the media and crying about it. Come on, man.
How many times have players been asked after a game this question, Mike? Hey, do you think they ran up the score on you? And a true player will say, you know what, if we didn't want them to run up the score on us, we should have stopped them, right?
Exactly.
I don't know how many. How often does that happen in the NFL, first of all?
It happens enough. It happens enough. Sure it does.
It happens every week with the Chiefs. The Chiefs never call the dogs on.
If it's not Mike Tomlin, and say it's like a snarly punk like Jim Harbaugh. If it's Jim Harbaugh, I'll tell you what I'm doing. If it's Jim Harbaugh, I'm wearing an outfit from the musical Cats, and I'm going, and then I'm flipping the bird to him. But if it's Mike Tomlin, I've got a lot of respect for him.
So
I don't think you
depends on the
disrespected
coach?
What?
So it depends on the coach.
It depends on the coach.
No, I'm just saying.
It depends on the coach that he respects.
In this context, he's one of the most respected coaches in the league. I don't think a Batman mask is a good look. I just don't. And I like Kelce, and I know what he's about. And maybe if it's another coach who's inexperienced, who's this snarky young guy that's in the league now, maybe I would do it. I don't think.
Hey, Mike.
I think if Mike Tomlin looks over, he wouldn't appreciate it.
Trick or treat, man.
Okay, wait.
It's Halloween weekend. The team is blowing out the opposition, their cross-state rivals. Why can't they have a little fun with it?
No, but I think it brings up the larger topic of, I don't think it, and like I do agree. I think Stoutland did tell him to take it off, but then I saw he put it back on as he was running off the field because it's now been reposted by the NFL and Barstool and all of the like. But I like when it goes even back to AJ Brown's taunting penalty and the celebrations, and now the Eagles are 7-0. And even I'm at a point where after today's win, like they crushed the Steelers today. I feel a little out of line, like reposting something on like my Instagram story. So it does kind of beg that question of like, how far is too far? Like, do you rub it? I have a lot of people who are Steelers fans who follow me. Like,
there is no such thing as too far. Okay, listen.
Of course there is.
No, it's not, because you know what? You're not in the game while the game is going on, and hearing the conversations, Devin, that goes on during the game.
True.
I mean, I've had guys talk about every person in my family, right down to my 2-year-old daughter. Okay, at the time, you understand what I'm saying? So understand the emotions of it. I mean, you can't ask for robots to go out and play the game.
Right,
it's an emotional game.
Why do you think the offensive line coach came over, said something to him, and he immediately took it off?
You don't know what he said. He might have. You don't know what he said.
Can you fill in a blank here? I could go outside and see the sidewalks wet. I know it rained.
Absolutely, but you don't know what he said to him.
All right.
He might have said, "Hey, take it off. I want to see your eyes." You don't know.
I think it's a matter of like, do you need to stay humble even though you're 7-0 and undefeated?
Because you have class and you're wearing a $50,000 bracelet. That's why you see it that way. It's called class.
Football is a high emotion game. Okay. You spend 6 days getting ready for this moment. You have built-in rivalries, and although you don't play against the Steelers every year, that is a cross-state rivalry. It is bragging rights for whenever the next time they play. So you have that adrenaline rush. When you pound somebody like that, now if you get out in the field and rub it in their face, that's different. If you're doing it on your own sideline, you're done for the day. You've got the game well in hand. There's nothing wrong. And plus, it's Halloween also. There's absolutely nothing wrong with having a little fun with it.
You want to know what the most important aspect, the most important element that any professional athlete can possess? You want to know what it is? Because there's only so many elite athletes in this world in each sport. You want to know what the #1 element that every elite athlete has to possess?
He has fun.
He has to have confidence. Okay? He has to have confidence. Without self-belief, I don't care. You can be as chiseled as Mr. America. You can have the strength of the Hulk. You understand? You can have the speed of Flash. You can have all of that stuff. But if you don't have confidence, you have nothing.
Kelsey's got plenty of confidence.
But this whole team has confidence.
The whole team has a lot of confidence.
And the one thing that you don't want to do is you don't want to take that away. Everybody talked about A.J. Brown and the taunting call that he had. Guess what? I'm okay with it. I'm okay with that 15-yarder. You want to know why? Because he was saying you was there and you was there, and neither one of y'all could stop.
I don't have a problem with players doing it on the field at all. I really don't.
So
I just have a problem in this particular situation. Mike Tomlin's a well-respected coach. He's not getting in anybody's face. Players get in their face all the time. Mike Tomlin's just sitting there trying to coach his bad football team, and he looks over, he sees a second team, and he sees Jason Kelsey with a freaking mask
Mike,
on.
you need to stop. You want to know what the last thing on Mike Tomlin's mind is? The damn Batman mask, okay?
I will say this, Jeff Stoutland is an old school coach, and there are a lot of old school coaches that don't like the way a lot of players celebrate today. Now, if that had been a younger coach probably would have just stood there and chuckled with him. But Stoutland comes from that old school mentality. There's a certain imaginary respect for the game. Like, he's one of those coaches, like all this dancing in the end zone, it's creative. That's not him. You know what? You score, put the ball down, go back and do your business.
But there's nothing wrong with that.
They didn't do that when Seth played. They didn't do all that mess, right? When you played. They didn't do all that creative mess you see now.
You want to know why?
Choreographed dances in the end zone.
Because the offensive players were so afraid that we take their damn heads off the next time. But you can't do that anymore, so they do it now, not worrying about it. Because if you take a guy's head off and you take it off fairly with a good clean hit, all they got to do is lay on the ground and writhe in pain, and they're going to throw the flag.
Stoutland is the dad. Kelsey's one of his kids. So it's like it. Don't be an ass, son.
Well, Mike,
that's probably what he said to him, but not like that.
When you saw that, you said, "I bet Nick Sirianni is going to apologize to Mike Tomlin after." I don't see that happening. Nick Sirianni is a fiery guy. I think he loves that
If
stuff.
Sirianni saw that, with the respect he has for an older coach, I guarantee you he said something to Tomlin. Hey, listen, if you saw him wear a mask, sorry about that. We didn't mean any disrespect.
Why would you even be worried about it? If Mike Tomlin is in his feelings, let him be in his feelings. He got two things to be in his feelings after today. A damn Batman mask, and you got your ass kicked. What was it, 35-13, okay? Take that back to Pittsburgh with you. See you next time, Coach.
Listen, I know everybody can't have class, Seth.
Well, okay. I mean, to me, they wore the capes before, and we love that. I don't see how a mask is any different from
excuse me, I went to class school. All right,
class.
I'm sorry for
that.
Wow.
Class. Okay.
You know what?
Okay.
7-0. That's what class is, Mike. Okay. All is fair in love and war. And you want to know something? You might football when you're between those lines and those guys are trying to take your head off. Trust me, it's war.
If he's getting hammered, and he saw somebody yucking it up with a Batman mask, he's charging over to the other side of the field.
No, I wouldn't. I'm telling you.
I don't know. He might have some poignant comments after the game, like he just said.
I'm not even going to say anything about it.
I'm saying you might say, you know what, we'll see him again. We'll see him again down the road.
You have no idea how many times somebody did something to me in the game or said something to me during the game or even said something to me after a game. I'm like, store it, because you're going to forget. And when you come trotting across the middle and you think I ain't paying attention, we'll settle the score.
Okay, but they're not going to play the Steelers again, so he got away with it.
That's okay.
All right.
All right. Well, that wraps up this week's Diamond Debate presented by Mark's Jewelers. Stick around because the postgame show will be right back after this break.
Philly sports fans, I'm Tom Giordano from Pond Lehocky Giordano. First and foremost, thank you for watching the Pond Lehocky postgame show. But right now, we're giving away tickets to the World Series. Follow Pond Lehocky on Instagram and check out our posts for your chance to win tickets to all 3 Phillies home games. Go Phillies and go Birds.
Hi everybody, my name's Jason Lombardi. I'm an inspector at DryTech. At DryTech we offer 3 major services, the first one being basement waterproofing. The second service we offer is foundation and structural repairs. And then the third service that we offer is mold remediation. If you feel you are having a waterproofing issue, give DryTech a call or check us out online.
My husband hadn't missed work in 15 years. His injury required months of rehabilitation, and unfortunately, the insurance company didn't see it that way. I was working 2 jobs, but it wasn't enough. One conversation with Pond Lehocky changed everything. We sat down, told him our story, and they guided us through the whole workers' compensation legal process.
Pond Lehocky. Tell us your story.
The faces you know, the team you trust. The Delaware Valley's leading news program, Action News.
Celebrating the life of your loved one is what we do at Life Celebrations by Givenish. When the matriarch of the Dalloway family died suddenly at 82 years old, Life Celebrations by Givenish stepped in.
They will make this the easiest thing that I know it's not easy, but they will make this as easy as possible.
Life Celebrations by Givenish, customizing services as unique as the individual.
I just know that my dad, who is in charge of everything, was not in charge of anything at that point when my mom passed. And again, just another shout out to this place for making it easy.
Turning tragedy into a celebration of life, no matter how hard, is what we do at Life Celebrations by Givenish. Life Celebrations by Givenish, customizing services as unique as the individual.
Go for the beers, go for the cheers, go for the hit and the hits, go for the scene, go for the screens, go for the gallery, go for the win, go to Ocean.
Go passionately. Go fearlessly. Go confidently.
Go Birds!
Go confidently towards your goals with First Trust, Philly's hometown bank for nearly 90 years, and the official bank of the Philadelphia Eagles. We're focused on getting you over the goal line. So go with conviction, go with trust,
Go Birds!
and go forward with us by your side. First Trust Bank, the official bank of Philadelphia dreams. Oh, and go Birds.
And welcome back to the Pond Lehocky Eagles post-game show. The Eagles win today 35-13. Ho-hum. They are now 17-0. We're doing the show, obviously, live from the UFC Casino. I'm Mike Missinelli. This is Derek Gunn, and that is Seth Joyner. Look at this beautiful place. Everybody watching football behind us and placing their bets. I took the Raiders today because I'm an idiot, and my bet did not come through. And just for full disclosure here, the last time you watched this show was before the bye, and Seth and I had a little thing going where I predicted that the Jaguars were going to beat the Giants. And I'm man enough to admit that I was wrong on that. The Giants came back to win that game.
Well, thank you for admitting it. I forgot.
Yeah, I know you had forgotten all about that. I figured I would bring it back up. John McMullen, who covered the game for JAKIB Sports, will join us in a little bit. But let's just re-rack some of the things that we saw in this game. I don't think we've talked enough about Jalen Hurts. 19 for 28, 285, 4 touchdowns. 3 of them to A.J. Brown, who was out of this world today. A.J. Brown with 6 receptions for 156, 3 TDs, 43 with the long. They got big chunk plays early on. In fact, they didn't have to take a snap in the red zone until their 4th touchdown, and they wound up scoring on that play rather easily. And the same script has been followed. The Eagles just pounce on you early, and then they go, don't beat us with a big play, and we'll allow you these little dink dunks, and you'll get some yards. At the end of the day, the quarterback will look like he had a good game. And in this case, it was Kenny Pickett, and we'll talk about him in a bit. But they're sailing along. So, guys, I mean, I don't know. What's your impression as we sit right now? We haven't had any kind of sway on the Eagles being in trouble, and we question whether they're good enough.
Oh, no, I don't question if they're good enough. When you look at the state of the NFC right now and look at how mediocre the NFC is, Minnesota has bounced back from that butt whipping they took from the Eagles, and they're sitting at 6-1 right now. Dallas at 5-2, the Giants are 6-1. But I don't know if those teams are a match for the Eagles. I think they'll be competitive. We already saw how lopsided it was earlier in the season against Minnesota. Now, obviously, Minnesota has made the necessary adjustments and gone on a roll as of late. But I love how this Eagles team, even when they're average, they're still better than the teams that they're playing against. They don't have to be consistent every play, but they lead the NFL for a reason in terms of big plays. They are a big play offense. They are a big play defense. They are the best takeaway defense in the league. Now, we're going to sit here and debate week in and week out, as we do, the good with the bad, and even when it's extremely good, we're going to find some of the little things that they could do better. That's what they're doing behind closed doors. They look at the game film. As good as we are, we're going to find the little things that we need to do better. And there's nothing wrong with that, because as you go along, you don't want your team to become predictable and have teams pick up on your tendencies even more so. But I have no complaints with what this Eagles team has done. We were sitting there shocked that they had only run the ball 10 times in the first half. All of a sudden, they come out of the gate in the second half to get the run. Now, they finished with 20 carries, $111. That's great by a lot of team standards. That's subpar by the Eagles standards. But, Miles Sanders walks in the end zone for a touchdown on a 2-play drive. So they do what they have to do at any given moment. We have to keep giving Shane Steichen a lot of credit for being able to adjust on the fly. His play calling, for the most part, has been impeccable this season.
Listen, I think it has. Contrary to popular belief, I think a lot of people think, because we sit up here as analysts, me in particular, that I sit up here as an analyst, all I'm doing is nitpicking and bitching and complaining about, how the Eagles played, and they're 7-0. Contrary, to that thought, the team is doing fantastic. I know how hard it is to win football games in the NFL. And a lot of times it really comes down to get the W however you could get it. But that doesn't stop us from, analyzing what we see and making suggestions on things, that we believe will make the team better. So it's not really complaining. Hey, listen, I'm thrilled that the Phillies are in the World Series. I'm thrilled that the Eagles are 7-0. I hope they go 17-0 and go win the Super Bowl and knock Miami off that perch. I really do. But that's not going to stop me from analyzing, what I see. Now, the team is playing well. Okay, it'd be really hard pressed for me to find another team in the NFC right now and say that team can really compete against the Philadelphia Eagles, because they're a complete team. They can run the football when they need to. They can pass the football when they need to. you got the triple threat in Jalen Hurts, I think, which really causes a lot of problems for a lot of people, because not only can he operate from the pocket, but he can run the read option and take off with it with his feet. And then they've incorporated the read option and the RPO, all together, where he'll read, keep it, and on the run, throw the ball down the field once the defense, kind of gets sucked up. So they've got every single thing. When you think about their offense, they've got everything covered. Whatever it is that they need to do and wherever they need to transform, they can do that, okay? The defense is one of the top defenses in the league statistically, okay? But being a defensive guy, what do I want to see? I want to see them dominate, because if they can dominate, they're going to make the game that much easier for the special teams and the offense. So when I'm talking about, when we're so-called nitpicking, that's really what it's all about.
I don't think you're a nitpicker.
Well, I mean, you got to get on the chat sometime. Then
chat thinks you're a nitpicker.
you got to get on my social media every once in a while.
You pay attention to a chat?
Oh, I watch it.
I think you're very cautious about the defensive part of this game. I think you're very cautious, very sensitive about
I'm not necessarily cautious about it, Mike, because the premise is exactly the same. Do what you have to do to win. Okay, but I just think a more aggressive, dominant style defensive mindset is more conducive to winning in the long run than just getting by.
You're not wrong. That's why I can't call you a nitpicker, because you basically make some sense when you talk that way. Okay. But let's look at, here's what I see. This is the type of team that the Eagles are that I've seen now every week. All right, the Steelers, we knew they weren't going to be able to score enough points, but they did make it kind of interesting. They get a drive going. They get a field goal out of it. It's 28-13. The Eagles don't do anything in the next drive. So the Steelers get back the ball on the next drive, and what happens? Hargrave relentless, gets the strip sack. They take over at the 46. What's the first play? When they need to play, they get it. It was the big play in the middle to AJ, 43 yards over the middle, which gets them to the 11.
Yeah, and that's what I said. We need to give Shane Steichen as much credit as possible, because he's sitting there and they're watching the film. They're getting all the pictures from upstairs. Right. And he says, this is where we're going right now. And again, they identify. It's funny. We look at what A.J. Brown did in this game in terms of 156 yards. He only did it on 6 catches. Usually when a guy has 156 yards, he has 10, 11, 12 catches. He did his damage on 6 catches. Now, he did a lot of his damage in the first half, and they came back to him when he had to in that third quarter to pick up that 47-yard game, set him up at the 11, and Miles Sanders took it in for the touchdown.
Well, listen,
I think Shane Steichen has done an outstanding job in terms of reading defense.
Absolutely, but let's not minimize what Jalen Hurts is doing now.
Executing it.
Because those plays worked because Jalen Hurts either made the check at the line of scrimmage or pre-snap identified, that he had man-to-man, and he identified his best option to attack, his best matchup to attack. And a lot of those balls were just perfection. I mean, you couldn't ask for the elite level quarterbacks in the NFL to put that ball where he put it. I mean, we got to start giving this kid some credit.
I agree. I think we really haven't talked enough about him today because he delivered everything. So, right now, we're going to do something we call the 2-minute drill. Little rapid-fire questions for these guys, and I'm going to start with Jalen Hurts. The question is, right now, is Jalen Hurts in the MVP conversation?
Absolutely. No question about it. You look at his efficiency, his productivity. Before this game, people are talking about, he hasn't thrown enough touchdown passes. Yeah, well, he ran for 6 touchdown passes, so he accounted for, 10, 11 touchdowns. He throws 4 in this game, so I think people can shut up about him not throwing enough touchdown passes. Absolutely, you have to start talking about Jalen Hurts in the MVP conversation because of his overall body of athleticism and his ability to get it done no matter what the obstacle is.
Seth, you agree?
Hey, listen, this is my take for a guy who is the quarterback of a 7-0 team. Okay, he's 123 of 184 in passing for 66% completion, 1,500 yards, and 6 touchdowns. Okay, 6 passing touchdowns, 6 running touchdowns. I didn't even touch what he's done on the ground, okay? If you add that into it, how do you eliminate this guy from that conversation? Because he is just as much, if not the reason why this football team is 7-0 is anybody or anything else or any coach on this staff, okay? That's how I view Jalen Hurts right now.
I absolutely agree. I think he's in the MVP conversation. All right, question number 2. I'm looking at the upcoming schedule. At Texans, the Commanders, at the Colts. The question for you guys is, how likely are they to be 10-0? More likely or less likely that they're 10-0?
Oh, definitely more likely. Absolutely more likely. I mean, we've seen what they've done. It's like feasting, on a wounded animal, And when I look at where they are right now, they put up 35 on this Pittsburgh team, and they took the starters out of the game 9 minutes left in the game. I don't see anybody on the schedule over the next several weeks that's going to come close to stopping this team in any way, shape, or form.
All right, let me take it to Seth now to the next degree, because then it's Green Bay, Tennessee, at Dallas. What's the record at that point? There's 6 games that I just gave you. It looks like they win the next 3. Then you get the 3 on top of that.
The only team that I look at on the rest of the schedule, until they get to Dallas again, that gives me any pause for concern is the Tennessee Titans, because they can flat out run the football, and if you can't control that, you're going to have a problem.
Now with a rookie quarterback, though.
Yeah, I get it, but Tannehill might be back, or the rookie quarterback might present a whole slew of other things, a la Jalen Hurts, what he's doing with other teams. That's the first thing. The second thing is their defense at times can be dominant, and if my memory serves me correct, I'm looking it up here, they've got to go. No, Tennessee comes here. So, I mean, that's an advantage. But, I mean, that's the only team that I look at, and I'm not saying beyond a shadow of a doubt.
It's a look-ahead game. Also.
Oh, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the next game coming up? You talking about trap game already?
No, I'm just.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying that Tennessee game. I don't think that Tennessee beats them at home with a rookie quarterback, but I can see where Dallas is on deck and maybe they take it a little lightly. But I haven't seen this team capable of taking anything
again.
lightly.
I will go back and say what I reiterated, 2 weeks ago, or maybe it's 3 weeks ago because you weren't here right before the bye. The 2 teams, the 3 games that worry me the most is, okay, you got to go to Dallas on Christmas Eve. Being on the road on a holiday, focus and all that kind of stuff. And then you got to play the Giants twice in like a 3 or 4 week span. And people can say whatever they want to say about the New York Giants. Oh, they're just
I'm
the
not
Giants.
saying anything anymore.
My thing is, and I told you weeks ago, the Giants are going to be a problem, okay? They got a head coach that's got these guys believing that they can win. They got Saquon back 100% healthy. Daniel Jones looks like, at least he's beginning to look like what they thought that he would be when they drafted him. And then you got one of the best defense coordinators in Martindale in the league that's got these guys flying all over the place. And he's not the type of guy who will sit back and allow you to just take things apart. And he's very, very innovative from a game planning standpoint. So those are the 3 games. Those 3 division games are the ones that worry me the most.
Next question. We thought the Eagles were a little short with another pass rusher. They went out and they got one. Are they short at running back, and should they pursue a running back? And, of course, people are talking about the running back like an Ajayi type of acquisition being Kamara. Do they need to acquire a running back of that caliber?
I don't think they do. I think the running back situation is efficient the way it is. We know who the workhorse is in that backfield in Miles Sanders. Gainwell's going to get his touches, and as Seth and I have talked about time and time again, I don't know why they neglect Boston Scott. I love the quality back that Boston Scott is. I love his versatility. He's a good blocker. He's quick. He has a quick burst. He's strong. I think he's the strongest back that they have because you don't bring him down with just the initial tackle. I liked how they complement each other. They complemented each other well. Sometimes you can overthink a situation and make it worse instead of better. Now, I know the rumor has been out there about them looking at Kareem Hunt. Of course, if you had a Kareem Hunt to this mix, that's a whole another ballgame. He's one of the best running backs in the National Football League. But do they really need Kareem Hunt in his offense right now? I don't think so. I think they've added enough to get to where they want to go.
Well, listen, I agree with you wholeheartedly when you talk about Boston Scott. But, you know, I think one of the things that inhibits Boston Scott is a guy like Kenneth Gainwell that was probably projected as, you know, a second or a third round pick that fell to the Eagles at 5, and really what they want him to be. You know, when you spend that kind of draft capital, the thought is that guy has got to be the guy, okay? But Boston Scott, in my opinion, is just better equipped to protect and pass protection.
Right.
He can do all the things that Kenneth Gainwell, you know, can do. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of football left. There are 10 games left in this season. And Miles Sanders, for that point, has not spent an entire season healthy. I don't believe his entire, you know, previous 4 years here. So, you know, you can't wait, you know, and then realize, oh, we should have done something. If, you know, you're going to get that insurance policy, go get the insurance policy now. And the insurance policy that I've liked for the longest was Kareem Hunt. I just felt like, and we talked about it in the pregame show, Mike, I just felt like when he had his little fall from grace, they should have signed him then to a minimum deal, a 5-year minimum deal, and kind of tucked him away until, you know, you could bring him back, because you knew he was just too good of a player to not get back into the game. He's spent a year out of the game, so his body was fresh. He's splitting time, not really even splitting time. He's only getting probably about 30% of the reps, you know, and Nick Chubb is getting the other 70%. So if you go and you get that guy that can spell, you know, and he's better than Boston Scott and Kenneth Gainwell wrapped up in one, and he can do all the things that they do.
Well, you know, when you talk about trying to get another back, and especially a back like an Alvin Kamara or Kareem Hunt, you have to take this into consideration too. Right now, the Eagles have 2 firsts, a second, and a third. They don't have another pick now until the 7th. What kind of draft capital are you willing to give up? I'm not giving up a 3rd-round pick for Kareem Hunt, especially if you're just buying him for this season. Right. I'm not giving up a 3rd-round pick. I'm not giving up a second or 2 firsts.
All in, though, D.
Well, exactly.
You're there now.
You're there right now.
Yeah, but if they believe,
are you there now?
If they believe
AFC, we don't know yet.
If they believe that this is their window and their run, you know, then you push the chips in. If you believe that you're a year out, then you make provisions for that. You know,
yeah, and you can't believe you're out.
You have
the only thing you might not know is if you're better than Buffalo or maybe Kansas City at this point.
Look,
right?
with the current running tandem that they have, they're one of the top 5 running offenses in the National Football League. So it's not like they need a running back. That running back will be another luxury. You would take it over the top, but they're one of the better running teams as it is with what they have.
Based upon who they play, you're absolutely right.
All right, quickly. I'm going to squeeze one in before we get to John McMullen, who obviously covered the game, was down at Lincoln Financial Field today. It's a question about Kenny Pickett. Do you think that Kenny Pickett has the talent to be a star quarterback in the NFL?
I think that, you know, every young quarterback needs – you can protect them one or 2 ways. And if you're a really good organization, you learn how to protect them both of these ways. You either protect him with a great running game, or if you require him to have to throw the ball, you protect him with a great offensive line as he grows, okay? Now, it's going to take some mental fortitude on his behalf to continue to endure not having either one. Because it's not that Najee Harris isn't a good running back. Najee Harris has to fight for every inch that he gets. And he's not getting a whole lot of inches. So then when you can't run the football, you put it, all the pressure goes on the quarterback's shoulders. Now, can he be that guy down the road? I don't think nobody really knows. I think
you like him, though. You think he can make the throws. He's got some mobility.
I like him, but the one thing that I do know about the NFL is that there are no sure things. There are very, very few sure things, because You can go to the combine and they can get all those metrics, and they can come and they can measure your hands and do all that kind of stuff. But the one metric that they don't have a measurement for is what's in here and your level of intellect. And people will say, oh, you know, we could take the Wonderlic. The Wonderlic test doesn't tell you anything. I know guys who have completely flunked the Wonderlic test. You get them on the football field, and they're total football savants. You know,
how'd you do in the Wonderlic? Did you do all right?
I didn't go to the combine.
Oh, okay.
Oh, they totally dropped the ball on me. You kidding me?
Yeah, they did.
No bowl games, no combine, no nothing. They drafted
17th round?
18.
Oh,
18. Yeah. He said 18.
No,
the eighth
I
round.
said 17.
Hey, so
he goes 18.
You said 18. He set you up.
I was just being facetious.
Oh.
Think about it. Okay, the year I got drafted on the Eagles, they drafted 3 other linebackers in front of me. 2nd round, 3rd round, 5th round. Then they drafted me in the 8th round. 2 years later, they were all gone and I was starting. You think they dropped the damn ball?
Yeah, they dropped the damn ball on you. You might be the biggest example dropping the damn ball. All right, let's bring in the man who covered the game for obviously for JAKIB Sports, and he joins us every week, and he's live from Lincoln Financial Field. And let's bring him in, John McMullen. Now, John, listen, it's the same exact script. They dominate the team. They get up early. They kind of allow some yardage. And when they need a play to put it away, bang, they get to play. I don't know what else to say anymore of this team. But they're
I know.
It's
getting boring. It's getting boring. This team's really, really good. And it's getting tough to come up with stuff to complain about. So I got to default to Seth there. I can't complain about much with this team at this point. They Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown comes up to the podium after the game. First thing he talks about is the plays he didn't make because he had a big drop. He got caught from behind. He's the best receiver this team has had in a really, really long time. He dominates. Jalen Hurts, there were some people who complained that Jalen Hurts wasn't throwing passing touchdowns. Well, now you got the passing touchdown. So I guess some people say, hey, where's the running game? Where's the running aspect to it? Look, this team is just tough to deal with right now. And the one thing we can probably all agree on, special teams continues every week, another fake punt. Other than that, I mean, look, I said on the pregame show, this game was one where I didn't even consider Pittsburgh winning. That's how much of a difference I saw between these two teams. And that's how it shook out. They dominated this football game.
Hey, John, I don't even care about the X's and O's right now, because it's the same theme over and over. Here's what, because I don't think you didn't have a chance to hear this. Our diamond debate was Jason Kelce wearing the Batman mask on the sideline. Mike missing that. Yeah, see, you knew I was going to
bring that up with the second question?
Yes, because you know what? We got plenty of time to talk football. Mike's take on it is it was disrespectful to Mike Tomlin and the Steelers organization. My take on it was, you know what? He did it on the sideline. He wasn't out in the middle of the field doing it. It's Halloween weekend, as Seth said. Number 2 questions in one. Did you have a problem with Kelce wearing the mask on the sideline, especially when all the starters were pulled out of the game? And number 2, was there any scuttlebutt afterwards in terms of did Kelce say anything about it? Because we thought Stoutland told him to take it off. What's your take on this?
I thought Lane Johnson showing up as Kelce was the bigger deal. I thought that was tremendous. I don't know if you saw Lane before the game, but he showed up in costume as Jason Kelce. So he had the Ocean Drive T-shirt, he had the hair, he had the wig on. So that to me was tremendous. I don't know, this whole Batman thing, AJ, Devontae, Quez Watkins came out as one pregame when they were introducing the offense. Look, I would say the teams who get blown out in any venue, whether it's the NFL, baseball, football, basketball, whatever you want to go to, if you want to stop the celebration, don't get blown out.
There you go.
I don't have a problem with it.
Hey, John, by the way, I resemble that comment. I resemble that comment about complaint. Okay, so let's go back. the year that the Eagles won the Super Bowl, it was the underdog theme, and you could wear the mask, and no one complained about the underdog mask. What the hell is Mike Miss complaining about this damn Batman mask for?
Yeah.
Please tell me.
I don't know. But you know what I hate about the underdog thing? It was bull bleed. We all knew they were a good team. They only were underdogs because Carson Wentz got hurt. If Carson Wentz doesn't get hurt, people like to have, there's a lot of revisionist history. The Eagles are significant favorites over Atlanta in the playoffs, significant favorites over Minnesota in the championship game. And then, yeah, they're probably underdogs against New England in the Super Bowl. But everybody knew they had a really good team. And guess what? The Eagles thought their season was over when Carson Wentz went down in Los Angeles. It was like a wake in the NovaCare complex the day after that injury. So that whole underdog thing was a bunch of you-know-what. But I said this to Doug Peterson. If it works, use it. I mean, it worked, and they bought into it.
You're going right into my point. If it works to bond a team, use it. And I don't want to make a big deal. This was just a little side debate we had, and all of a sudden, this is the state of the Eagles. They're so good. We're talking about the friggin' Batman mask for content.
Exactly.
Really, what I'm saying here is, in a game like that where you've blown that team out, you already got your second team on, and I see Tomlin across. Tomlin's been dealt a bad hand right now. They're in a rebuilding mode, and so I don't know if wearing the mask at that particular point. And I'm not anti-fun. I just made a comment that I think Stoutland looked at it, said something to him, he took it off. I think Stoutland had the same view that I had of it.
John, he's the picture. He's the picture of political correctness. That's what that is.
Yeah, I mean, Stout probably told him to take it off. I believe that. I mean, Stout certainly is a no-nonsense guy, so he doesn't want to deal with any of that. But, I don't have a problem. We all know Jason Kelce. I mean, he might – I think they might give him this city when he retires. I mean, he is the most popular person in this city right now. He's all Phillied up after the game at the locker room. By the way, if you want to talk about ancillary stuff, can we stop the pandering? I say this all the time. Stop the pandering. With everybody, Nick Sirianni's got to say, go Phillies and this and that. No, you don't. Just worry about your own team. They're fine. They're in the World Series. Everybody's got to pander. That's my opinions.
Hey, John, all right, let's get back to something more pressing.
Second question, D-Gun, you go with the mask.
Exactly. All right, now let's talk some football here.
God.
Your thoughts on the way Jalen Hurts was dropping dimes today. He threw three beautiful balls. Obviously, the first touchdown, Minka Fitzpatrick misplayed that one. But the other two touchdowns were a thing of beauty, and we keep becoming more and more impressed with Jalen Hurts each and every week in terms of delivery and accuracy.
Yeah, I mean, two of the three touchdowns, the first touchdown, I actually didn't think it was a good throw. He threw it in double coverage, and Minka Fitzpatrick was right there, did a terrible job going for that football. That was sort of an A.J. Brown, I'm just getting this football type touchdown. The other two were just dropped in the bucket. They were perfect throws to A.J. A.J. put up the late hand, so to speak, that Randy Moss was famous for. Just great plays. And it was interesting. First couple throws, I said, oh, Jalen doesn't look accurate today. And then all of a sudden he heats up. He's got this ability to, forget the last play. It's a cliche in sports. If you strike out, you miss a shot in the NBA, forget about it and move forward. Jalen Hurts has got that ability. So he might have a bad couple passes, he might have a bad quarter, but he's going to keep coming after you. And he's second in the MVP race right now in most of the betting markets behind Josh Allen. People say, how could he be there when he doesn't throw passing touchdowns? Well, here's your game. Eagles seem to do it a different way every week. Today it was the passing game. 4 touchdowns of over 27 yards. Those are deep shots. Tremendous passing game by Jalen Hurts.
John, I'm going to stay right here because, I think for the first time this year, the Eagles actually threw the football more than they actually ran the football. What does that say about the evolution of not only Jalen Hurts, but the evolution of this offense, that you can get to a point where no one thought we could ever be? Last year, we had to most certainly run the ball a hell of a lot more than we actually threw it. This year, I said all along that the Eagles are going to have to get Jalen Hurts to throw the ball on average 30 to 35 times a game in order for them to find out whether he can be the guy. I think he's answered those questions at this point in time. But for today, 30 passes, 20 runs. Hurts only took off and ran twice. What does it say about the evolution of this offense that they can move to that point where they can become a more pass-dominant team than they are a run-dominant team?
Yeah, I think it's about, and this is what I like about the coaching staff, Seth, and they've proven this as well. They go into each game and they look at the opponent and say, all right, they can't do this. And that's the beauty of this Eagles offense. If they got to run it, they run it. If they got to throw it, they throw it. Today they saw a Pittsburgh team that's really struggling on the back end, and they said, we could take advantage of this. They wanted to get Dallas Goedert involved early. Dallas had a heck of a game, by the way. He was always open. And when he wasn't open, the Steelers were paying so much. He was the guy they were paying attention to when Zach Pascal got wide open for that touchdown. They were trying to get Devontae Smith involved. Didn't work as well, but obviously AJ had the huge game. If they loaded, if they rushed 3 and they dropped 8 in coverage and said, you know what, you guys are gashing us too much, they would have ran the ball. And they started to run the ball in the second half. They only had 23 yards rushing, something like that, in the first half. And then all of a sudden you see Miles Sanders getting some big holes in the second half. That's the beauty of this offense. And it morphs from week to week. And that's a big deal.
So, listen, we're looking ahead because it's the only thing we can do at this point. And it certainly looks like there's a clear path to 10-0, which is, like, amazing. Tell me what you see looking to the McMullen crystal ball as they play the opponents that they're going to be playing in the next 3 weeks. And then after that, it gets a little tougher. But is 10-0 inevitable here?
Yeah, I'm just looking at something real quick. Sorry, Mike. Jordan Davis has a high ankle sprain, so it looks like he's going to be out for a little bit. That's generally a 4-week injury. So that could be a concern. Obviously, you're on a short week. You don't expect him back. But as far as this team as a whole, yeah, I mean, they don't like to look ahead. They constantly talk about winning the day, never mind the week. But, yeah, if you look at the schedule and you see Houston and you see Washington and you see Indianapolis and Taylor Heineke starting, although Washington might be better with Taylor Heineke, to be honest. Sam Ellinger, it's tough to not say, all right, 10-0 is going to look pretty good. And that's the kind of team this is. Now, the one thing, and we just talked about it, that can change anybody's year is injuries. And that's a big one. Now, there's bigger ones you could suffer, but at some point, you're going to have some adversity, and maybe this is some adversity because the Eagles don't have a backup for Jordan Davis. So all of a sudden, these 5-1, I shouldn't say they have a backup. They don't have a good backup for Jordan Davis. So all these 5-1 and 5-2 fronts they like to run are not going to be as effective without Jordan Davis.
Hey, John, any update on that?
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 to 6 weeks is usually a high ankle sprain. So that's kind of what you're going to be talking about. Now, and he'll have an MRI tomorrow to confirm it, but Eagles are thinking high ankle sprain.
Hey, John, can you pinpoint why Boston Scott is the forgotten entity in this offense? Whenever he gets in there, he produces. He has a burst. He's a tough between the tackle runner. I think he's the best blocking back they have. But yet, for some reason, he can't get any notoriety or recognition in this offense. I mean, what do you think it is? I mean, obviously they have a commitment to Gainwell, But Boston Scott, I think, is a proven commodity and proves that he's a sure-handed, tough, hard-nosed back and should be given more of a look.
Yeah, I think it's about, if you look at Nick's history, really even before he came to Philadelphia as a coordinator, he was in offenses that used two backs in sort of a rotation, and he prefers that mode. So when Miles is the lead back and Kenny's the third down back and the hurry-up back and that type of role, you know, Boston Scott doesn't have as big a role. If Miles got injured, and he has over the past two seasons, and he has an ankle sprain or something like that, wouldn't be able to play, I think Boston Scott would take over the lead back role, and you would see it. But it was interesting. I heard you guys talking about the trade deadline. Yeah, that seems to be a position where Howie thinks they need more than maybe Nick Sirianni. And I do think Nick Sirianni likes Boston Scott. Howie thinks they need to get a little bit better, and we'll see if he can pull anything out. Now, the conversations about sending a first-round pick to New Orleans are laughable. That's not going to happen for Alvin Kamara. And they don't have those mid-round picks. Remember, they've already gotten rid of them. So are they going to give up a third-round pick? Yeah, they do that for Kamara. Saints wouldn't. Would they do it for Hunt? They probably feel more comfortable with a conditional fourth, but they don't have a fourth unless they want to convince Cleveland to wait to 2024, and that's very, very difficult to do.
John, great stuff. We appreciate it. And I know you saw that same graphic on TV that we did. Two quarterbacks in the Eagle history have started the season 9-0, right? You know who they are.
Yeah.
McNabb.
By the way, Jalen set the franchise record today because dating back to last season, he's won 10 consecutive games. So nobody has ever done that in Eagles history. Now, they did play the playoff game, and that should count as well. But 10 consecutive regular season wins for Jalen Hurts. Nobody in Eagles history has ever done that.
That's
before.
amazing. And we have to go back to the Dutchman. See, I wanted to get the Dutchman in. Norm Van Brocklin, 1960. 9 straight. John, always a pleasure. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
All right, that's Sean McMullen. Plenty to go on the show. We're going to give out game balls. We have Devin Caney coming back with us for the drive of the game. We have Phil's tickets. We're going to tell you how to win. That's right. Stay with the show. We're going to tell you how you can actually win the hottest ticket in America right now. It is the Pine Lehocky Eagles postgame show. Missinelli, Gunner, Seth Joyner, back after this.
Go to get your game on. Go for the beers. Go for the cheers. Go for the hit and the hits. Go for the stakes and the stakes. Go to get your parlay on. Go to get your party on. Go for the scene. Go for the screens. Go for the gallery. Go for the win. Go to Ocean. Visit theoceanac.com to plan your visit.
The greatest fans on earth. It's a bold statement, but would you expect anything less from Philadelphia? 58 years of heartache creates a toughness, a grit, a resolve not found in most. Sure, our prayers were answered, but now that we've had a taste, we're looking for more. Pond Lehocky, official partner of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Go passionately. Go fearlessly. Go confidently.
Go Birds!
Go confidently towards your goals with First Trust, Philly's hometown bank for nearly 90 years, and the official bank of the Philadelphia Eagles. We're focused on getting you over the goal line. So go with conviction, go with trust, and go forward with us by your side. First Trust Bank, the official bank of Philadelphia dreams. Oh, and go Birds.
Score and save this football season on your car insurance. Before the next game, save up to 40% on your auto insurance policy. That's right, 40% savings. Call an audible this season and contact the Del Val Insurance Group. They're an advocate for you, not an insurance company. That means they'll get you the right coverage and save you up to 40%. Call managing partners Fran or Jim of Del Val Insurance, 215-354-0122, or score and save at dvigi.com. dvigi.com.
Staffing is not easy, but that's what we do every day, all day. The key to our success is storytelling, asking the right questions to find the right people. Hi, I'm Gary Kane, president of Kane Partners. We want to be your staffing partner.
Welcome to Pond Lehocky. We've helped over 100,000 injured and disabled workers obtain benefits, as well as some of the biggest settlements in the state. If you've been injured at work, give Pond Lehocky a call.
Go for the beers, go for the cheers, go for the hit and the hits, go for the scene, go for the screens, go for the gallery, go for the win, go to Ocean.
It's a fall car fest, and Jeff D'Ambrosio, Destination Downingtown, says, yes, you can. Jeff says, yes, you can choose from over 1,000 vehicles in stock with no wait. Yes, you can still get low prices, leases, and big discounts. Yes, you can still get low interest financing. And Jeff always says, yes, you can have a real deal buying experience without the hassle. When the other dealers say, no, you can't, Jeff says, yes, you can. Jeff D'Ambrosio, Destination Downingtown. Nobody treats you better. Jeep Adventure Days.
Philly sports fans, I'm Tom Giordano from Pond Lehocky Giordano. First and foremost, thank you for watching the Pond Lehocky Postgame Show. But right now, we're giving away tickets to the World Series. Follow Pond Lehocky on Instagram and check out our posts for your chance to win tickets to all 3 Phillies home games. Go Phillies and go Birds.
Yes, folks. And, of course, this is the Pond Lehocky Eagles postgame show as the Eagles win today 35-13. And one half of the great sponsor of the Eagles postgame show, Pond Lehocky. He is here in the flesh. He is the great Jerry Lehocky. What's up, my man? How are you today?
I'm flying high like every other Philadelphian right now. Flying very high. It was awesome.
All right, now, Jerry, tell us how you at home or us or whoever's watching can score Phillies World Series tickets.
Very simply, go to Pond Lehocky on Instagram. Follow us on Instagram. We have a contest. We're giving away Phillies tickets to every home game for the World Series. Go to Pond Lehocky on Instagram. It's simple. Once you're there, we'll take care of you.
Now, of course, Jerry, you are a monster Eagle fan, Philadelphia sports fan as well. But it's a tough day for you today because
I grew up in Pittsburgh.
I know you're from Pittsburgh, so so this is a tough day for you as you watch your hapless Steelers get pounded by the potent Eagles. You better stash that away.
That's going in a fireplace.
We're losing viewers by the minute here as you talk. But you got to give it up. This team. And you sponsored this post-game show, so you know that people are really excited about this team. What are you seeing now with the Philadelphia Eagles?
Well, you're seeing, in my opinion, and I'm just a fan, I'm not an expert like you guys, but you're seeing a maturation of a team that clearly has the talent to take it to the Super Bowl. And I'm impressed with, as you guys mentioned earlier, the change from basically a running offense to a passing offense now. You're seeing the coaches mature by being able to pivot into that kind of offense. And you're seeing a quarterback, in my opinion, and John mentioned it earlier, he may be number 2 in the voting, but right now I think he's number 1 MVP voted.
Should I ask him? Should I ask him? I'm going to have to ask
Go
him.
ahead and ask him.
Because as a Steeler fan, I felt for your fan base being humiliated by the Eagles today. You're at an all-time low, this proud franchise. They already put their second team in with like 8-something left, and all of a sudden, Jason Kelsey's on the sidelines mocking you further with a Batman mask. How, as a Steelers fan, did you feel about that?
That was hard to watch. It was like watching the debate the other night. Hard to watch.
What are you laughing
It was
at,
bad. It was really bad. But look, these guys, they're professionals. They work very hard at what they do. They're trying to have some fun. They're playing to the audience behind them. It's a home game. I don't care.
See, Jerry, I'm glad you said it because, I lived in Wexford for 10 years, so I know the mentality of Pittsburgh fans. If the shoe were on the other foot, Pittsburgh fans would have thought it was humorous, correct?
Exactly.
There you go.
We don't care about that.
But
Seriously.
they don't have as much class as Philadelphia fans.
Oh, my goodness.
I think that's
Slow down over there.
Seth is over here shaking his head like...
Yeah, because I'm just so sick and tired of the political correctness, man. Get over it. What you should have been concerned about was that ass whooping you was taking on the field for 60 minutes.
Exactly.
Not the Batman mask.
There's no reason to make an issue out of someone wearing a mask.
Thank you.
All right, listen.
See, Mike,
so, Jerry, just quickly again, how do people qualify to get those Phillies World Series tickets?
Go to Pond Lehocky on Instagram. Fill out the form. We are giving away tickets to every Phillies World Series game starting tomorrow night.
All right, buddy. Sounds good. Glad to have you on the show.
Can you sneak me in a game?
Lick your wounds. It'll be a tough night for you.
Listen, I'm happy. I'm flying high.
All right.
It's all good.
Jerry, can you sneak me in a game?
I can sneak you in a game. Absolutely.
Jerry Lehocky of Pond Lehocky.
Thanks,
you, guys. Jerry. We appreciate
it.
There you go. I knew he was a Steeler fan. And he's got to be hurting. That mask just... Pulling a nightmare.
My wife was
all
in an
right,
accident
we're
that
going to come back.
changed
This
our
show
lives
is not
forever.
done by any stretch of the
She was
imagination.
in rehabilitation for years. She had to learn to walk again. She couldn't take care of herself. We couldn't afford a nurse. We were running out of options. One conversation with Pond Lehocky changed everything. They understood what we were going through and immediately helped us navigate the legal process. We can't thank them enough.
Pond Lehocky. Tell us your story.
Action News at 11 with Rick Williams. It's the team you trust to bring it all together. The stories that impact your community, a sports roundup for the locals, and the AccuWeather forecast you depend on. Action News at 11 with Rick Williams.
Go to get your game on. Go for the beers. Go for the cheers. Go for the hit and the hits. Go for the stakes and the stakes. Go to get your parlay on. Go to get your party on. Go for the scene. Go for the screens. Go for the gallery. Go for the win. Go to Ocean. Visit theoceanac.com to plan your visit.
It's a fall car fest, and Jeff D'Ambrosio, Destination Downingtown, says, yes, you can. Jeff says, yes, you can choose from over 1,000 vehicles in stock with no wait. Yes, you can still get low prices, leases, and big discounts. Yes, you can still get low interest financing. And Jeff always says, yes, you can have a real deal buying experience without the hassle. When the other dealers say, no, you can't, Jeff says, yes, you can. Jeff D'Ambrosio, Destination Downingtown. Nobody treats you better. Jeep Adventure Days.
Did you know taxes could be your biggest expense during retirement? Are most of your assets in tax-deferred accounts like IRAs and 401ks? Taxes are historically low today, but we're facing significant headwinds in the future. Do you have a plan? The Thrive Financial team has more than 100 years of experience helping people across the Delaware Valley with forward-looking tax planning. Learn how to shift your money from forever tax to no or low tax accounts. Get your Thrive Retirement Tax Playbook today.
Score and save this football season on your car insurance. Before the next game, save up to 40% on your auto insurance policy. That's right, 40% savings. Call an Audible this season and contact the Del Val Insurance Group. They're an advocate for you, not an insurance company. That means they'll get you the right coverage and save you up to 40%. Call managing partners Fran or Jim of Del Val Insurance, 215-354-0122, or score and save at dvigi.com. dvigi.com.
At Stateside Vodka, vodka. Every new customer gets the world's best rocks glass. Free.
What's that?
A rocks glass?
You're telling me that bottle is cut in half?
You could say that. Holy shit.
And you're telling me I can get one of these glasses for free?
That's right. One free rocks glass per customer with each first-time purchase of stateside vodka. So good, it just disappears.
Welcome back to the Pond Lehocky post-game show. I'm Devin Caney. It is time for our Jeff D'Ambrosio Auto Group Drive of the Game. Go JeffAuto.com. Guys, I feel like I always kind of pick on someone to go first. D-Gun, I think you're up for your Drive of the Game. Oh, don't look at me like that.
What?
You've been quiet all night. You didn't back up either one too hard on the Batman debate.
I told you I'm politically correct this week.
Look, yeah. Right in the middle, always. Neutral,
Doesn't want
Switzerland.
anybody get mad at him. I'm already taking heat on social media. You're no fan. You're a loser.
You know what I will say, though?
He doesn't want that.
Listening
He doesn't
to
want
the
that
show.
smoke.
I welcome smoke. I get it every week. Do you think I care?
Well, then let's hear your Drive of the Game. I hope it's a spicy one.
All right, drive of the game has to be Steelers went down the field, scored a touchdown with a great wait, I'm not done.
He was ready.
Wait,
you were ready for that
I'm
one.
ready. Tied the game at 7. Claypool with a left-handed touchdown. Eagles come right back down the field. 11 plays, 79 yards. They used up over 4 minutes on the clock. I loved how they mixed up the play calling. And, of course, A.J. Brown catches an incredible touchdown pass. Once the Eagles went up 14-7, it was academic from there. That is my drive of the game. Now, what do you say about that?
I say you were very prepared for that.
Thank you.
Did not hesitate a moment on that one. So
Yeah,
well done, Mike.
I actually would agree with Derek.
Oh, you would?
But since he took that one, I'm going to go with the touchdown they made it 21-7 because it was like a sudden. And they started out at their 40. I know that's pretty good field position. 3 plays there in the end zone and chunk yards. 17 to Goddard, who was an under-featured as far as we're talking about him. He had a really solid game. And then Devontae Smith for 14, and then the big pass to A.J. Brown for 20 yards in the touchdown, and they get the exploit. So I'll go with the 3-play drive. Very tidy 3-play drive, but it kind of bounced the Steelers off the turf at 21-7.
Yeah, that was a tidy drive. Good word to describe that one. Clean.
Tidy?
Clean, if you will. Synonym. Clean, fast. I don't know. Not messy. Sad.
No, given the fact that this team hasn't scored a lot of points in the second half, I think I'm going to jump over to the second half. I believe it was their sixth possession. They went 5 plays, 75 yards, and it finished with a 34-yard touchdown to Zach Pascal, who has been just, we haven't seen a whole lot out of him this year at all, except for in running situations out of bubble screens, and on special teams. I think he had a special teams tackle today. But I like that one because, that's the first touchdown they've scored in the second half in quite some time. It tells me that they've done some things. They keep broken some things to allow them to open up their offense. They scored 7 in the first quarter, 14 in the second quarter as usual, had that second quarter outburst, and then they scored 7 in the third and 7 in the fourth.
And that drive featured 2 runs by Miles Sanders.
Yes.
He had a 21-yard gain and a 10-yard gain in that drive.
Yeah. From the Steelers side of things, what my favorite drive definitely wasn't was when they had 100 yards to go, essentially, in D-Gun. You turned to me, you were like, do you think that they can get it down the field. And I was like, yeah, with the way the Eagles defense has been playing this third quarter, yes, they absolutely could. And they almost did. I mean, they got closer than I wanted them to.
If it wasn't for the fact they got the strip sack.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there going, I was saying it in jest. I mean, they're at the 1, they're at the 20, they're at midfield. I'm thinking, this is not funny. If
What quarter were we in?
That was a third quarter.
That was third quarter, yeah.
Okay, so you know what happens in the third quarter game.
No, exactly.
When we're up by double digits.
Eagles go
what
to
happens?
sleep.
But that's why it was almost comical. 'Cause, like, I think no one thought that they were going to win and come back, but it was like, are the Eagles really going to do this again? You're really going to let this Steelers team drive 100 yards essentially down the field? And yeah, thank God for that strip sack.
You can pick any drive today, really. I mean, they were all like, okay, chunk yards, boom, they're scoring, they're ahead. The other team creeps a little, they're 3 plays, boom, they're in the end zone again. I mean, they're just amazing right now.
And even more importantly, my drive was the first drive of the second half.
Are you saying your drive was the best?
Absolutely.
I didn't know that.
If that's not self-serving, I don't know what is.
He's so territorial that way, isn't he? He just like has to grab his territory.
She said it, not me. I just agreed with her.
It was just the way you said it. Like, well, my drive was.
You reiterated that it was a very important drive. And I selected
Seth,
it.
It was a very good drive.
Oh, my goodness.
There are many, many good drives to choose from. There's also many people to choose from when it comes to game balls, and we will be giving those away coming up after this next break. So stick around because the Pond Lehocky Postgame Show is coming up after this.
Go to get your game on. Go for the beers. Go for the cheers. Go for the hit and the hits. Go for the stakes and the stakes. Go to get your parlay on. Go to get your party on. Go for the scene. Go for the screens. Go for the gallery. Go for the win. Go to Ocean. Visit theoceanac.com to plan your visit.
Do you stream on a Roku, Fire Stick, Android TV, or Apple TV? Now you can watch 6ABC 24/7 with the 6ABC Philadelphia streaming app.
The big story on Action News.
Search 6ABC Philadelphia and start streaming today.
Philadelphia fans, we're cut from a different cloth. Born into a brotherhood and bonded to our team for life. We believe anything is possible because we've witnessed the impossible. While we may be from different neighborhoods, come Sunday, we are one, and we will be heard. Pond Lehocky, official partner of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Score and save in southeastern PA and Delaware with Colony Pools this football season, and let the experts close your pool with a custom Merlin safety cover in green for the birds. And if you join our Winter Watch team, we'll give you another 20% off, and Colony Pools will handle it all. Keep your tiles on your pool, not in your pool. Fly with Colony right now, birds fans. Visit flywithcolony.com.
Go passionately. Go fearlessly. Go confidently.
Go Birds!
Go confidently towards your goals with First Trust, Philly's hometown bank for nearly 90 years, and the official bank of the Philadelphia Eagles. We're focused on getting you over the goal line. So go with conviction. Go with trust.
Go Birds!
And go forward with us by your side. First Trust Bank, the official bank of Philadelphia dreams. Oh, and go Birds.
Since 1977 at Rafferty Subaru, we have always been about our customers and the community. Early on, a safe and durable option, we've evolved to become the best overall brand according to Kelley Blue Book. Over the last 14 years, we've donated thousands of dollars through the Subaru Share the Love event and found homes for hundreds of pets. The Rafferty family is proud of our 45 years in business. This month, celebrate our anniversary with special financing on select models. Visit us and see why.
Hi everybody, my name's Jason Lombardi. I'm an inspector at DryTech. At DryTech we offer 3 major services. The first one being basement waterproofing. The second service we offer is foundation and structural repairs. And then the third service that we offer is mold remediation. If you feel you are having a waterproofing issue, give DryTech a call or check us out online.
Welcome back to the Pond Lehocky Postgame Show. I'm Devin Caney. It is time to give away some game balls presented by Colony Pools. Flywithcolony.com. Seth Joyner, who are you giving your game ball to today?
Well, I know A.J. Brown had a big day. The defense had another big day, but I'm going with Jalen Hurts. I like what Jalen Hurts has been doing. He was 20 for 30 in passing today, 290 yards. If he doesn't take those 3 sacks, which ate up 18 yards, he would have been over 300 yards passing for the day. 10.3 yards per pass attempt and a rating of 140.6. My game ball goes to one Jalen Hurts, QB1.
I love it. He did throw some dimes today. Derek Gunn, what about you?
I'm going to give it to A.J. Brown. 6 catches, $156. That man averaged over 26 yards a catch. His catch radius is incredible. His ability to snag balls, incredible. Has one of the strongest hand grips in the National Football League. For me, it's a slam dunk is A.J. Brown.
Yeah, I usually try to, when everybody goes to the most popular, I try to find somebody who's deserving, who's never going to get a game ball. But I can't do it today. A.J. Brown just beasted them today. And I know Jalen Hurts had to throw the ball, so I can't disagree with Seth either. But A.J. Brown, he just killed it today, averaging 26 yards a catch on 6 catches and just beat cornerback silly today. So I'm going A.J. Brown.
You don't want to give it to Jason Kelsey?
I'll give it to the mask. How's that? The mask.
Okay.
I wanted to give it to Pascal. I mean, he doesn't get much love in the offense. He gets a touchdown.
I wanted to give it to Jack Kroll, but he didn't do anything today.
Well, but at least Pascal scored a touchdown. I mean, he didn't give many touches.
No, you're right. Pascal would have been a good choice.
Yes, but I couldn't. You can't overlook A.J. Brown's performance.
I can't.
No, A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts both very, very deserving. Am I allowed to take a game ball? I know I don't have a game ball in front of me, but am I allowed to take one away from a media member?
Absolutely.
Because I would like to take it away from our coworker John McMullen for calling out pandering. Let them pander if they want. Okay, the Phillies are in the World Series. Let Nick Sirianni wear his Phillies shirts and talk about the Phillies and be a fan. Let them live their life, okay, John McMullen?
Should we mix in a little Phillies talk here?
I mean,
I think we need to mix in a little Phillies talk. I know,
how
but
we feeling?
It's amazing how the Phillies have taken over from a team that's undefeated, but they kind of have. Now maybe the Eagles will get back if this World Series is going to end soon. But they're 1-1 now. I want to get you guys' feel on it. What do you like? 3 games now coming at home. Does it go back to Houston?
I'll let you guys go first, because I have some definitive comments about that.
I feel okay about it. I don't want to say I'm okay about a loss. Like last night sucked, but I think they're so strong at home, and that crowd is going to be insane. It definitely is a strong home field advantage when it comes to the Phillies in playoff games, especially the World Series. I'll be there tomorrow screaming my head off, so I'll try to give them.
How are you getting all these tickets? I always see you on camera, on Twitter and stuff, and you're in the Phillies. I'm like, where's she getting all these tickets from?
She gets tickets.
How are you getting these tickets?
I don't know.
And she doesn't share with us. What's up with that?
I don't know what's up with that.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm the unofficial mayor
Seth,
of
what are you
Philadelphia.
feeling?
I guess.
Listen, I like what this team is doing. You know, it's shown the ability to come back when they need to come back in game one, down 5-0, and figure out a way to win it 6-1. The bats were a little cold last night, and Wheeler was off his game. My biggest concern will be game 4 when they go to the bullpen rotation. And because when you go to a bullpen rotation like that, each and every guy that you plug in along the way, he's got to be on his game. All it takes for one of those guys in the rotation to be off that night, and the game can be over. But, of course, I'm rooting for the home team. They've got something magical going on, and I think when you can go down to Houston and get a split and come home and you got 3 games in a row at home, you know, you're sitting pretty darn good. And I feel good about where they are. I feel good about the confidence of the team. And I think they'll bounce back from a loss and go up 2-1, and we'll see how they can close it out. And if they can close it out here in Philly by Wednesday, how awesome would that be?
Oh, my gosh. That would be insane. Literally. Philly
I
might burn down.
have a little bit of agita. And it's because of Game 3 and Game 4.
There you go.
Because the Houston Astros are deep in their starting rotation. They're going to start Lance McCullers in Game 3, who's solid, and Christian Vasquez in Game 4, solid. The Phillies are going to have to counter with Noah Syndergaard in a bullpen in Game 3, and then hope that Rangers Suarez gives them at least 6 innings in Game 4. And the other thing that's complicating this whole thing is that the Phillies' 2 aces, which are supposed to be like we said, they're dead wins there, have not delivered here so far in the World Series. So we're going to have to wait for a comeback from those guys to pitch the way we thought they would pitch. So I'm a little nervous. I'm not saying that Houston's going to win the series. I just have a little agita, as we say.
I think it's eye-opening that both, Wheeler and Nola get roughed up in those first 2 games. Luckily, it was split. I don't think we realize enough that if the right fielder misses that ball, the Phillies are coming home down 0-2. If Castellanos doesn't make that catch in Game 1, it's 0-2 Houston coming back here. I don't like the fact that Syndergaard's pitching in game number 3. Houston's pitching staff, their number 3, and number 4 pitchers would be starters on most teams than anywhere else in the major leagues. They're just that deep. Then you've got that guy Presley closing it out on the end. You look at what they did against St. Louis. You look at what they did against Atlanta and San Diego. Houston's a different beast. You know, their lineup is equal to the Phillies top to bottom in terms of the bottom part of the lineup being as productive, and in most cases more productive than the top of the lineup. Unfortunately, Altuve may have found his stroke. He had been a no-show the entire playoffs. He gets 2 hits in this game yesterday. I like the fact that the Phillies have the next 3 at home. I do think it's going back to Houston, though.
I don't like when people say if he doesn't catch that ball.
Well, I said it, and I'm putting in a big if.
You want to listen?
If he didn't make that catch, they're 0-2.
Yeah,
Thank goodness he made that catch.
I came home one day and told my grandmother, you know, if I would have made that catch, Grandma, we'd have won the game. You know what she told me?
What's that?
She said, son, if a frog's ass was glass, it'd be broke.
There you go. It's true.
It's true. It is true.
But I'm just saying, it just goes to show you, Castellanos has made 2 incredible catches in the playoffs.
Yeah, but come on.
Yeah, but then did you see them last night?
That's
They
what he
missed
went
so
and
many
got him. It
potential
wasn't just for his
outs,
bat.
Well, Houston
can go the other
Houston
way.
tried to give them the game back yesterday. First baseman boots a
No,
ground
I'm
ball.
saying so it can go the other way.
Oh,
if they
absolutely.
played better, if they played better last
We're in
night.
full baseball mode right now.
You brought it up. You should have brought it up.
Because the Eagles are making it so easy.
Hey, listen,
you brought it up.
Mike, you have to be in full baseball mode at some point in this show, because guess what? The Phillies are in the darn Super in the World Series. Man, are you kidding me?
3 wins away.
Come on, man.
Oh, you're right. You're
Come
right.
on. The potential for two parades
in 1 year.
One season.
In 4 months. Are you kidding me? We better be talking about
I
it.
would say Philadelphia is the city of winners. All right? We win too much here.
Yeah. It's boring, really.
See that therein lies the problem with Philadelphia. When we're not winning, people complain. When we're in position to win something, they still complain.
No, nobody's complaining about the Phillies. I just said I had a little agita.
Well, no, but that's what I'm saying. After last night, people are acting like the Phillies are like blowing this whole thing and getting swept. I'm okay coming back 1-1. Like, I'm okay with
Listen, they weren't.
It could have been that chicken satay, Seth. You know what I mean?
Listen, the Phillies weren't going to sweep this baseball team, okay? That wasn't going to be the case. Best case scenario, we could have loved for the Phillies to go down there and get 2. But the fact that they split and they at least come back with 1, now they've stolen home field advantage. Let's see what they do. Let's revel in the moment instead of worrying about the fact that they lost the game. They weren't supposed to win the first game anyway.
I still don't like Syndergaard on the mound tomorrow.
Hey, listen,
No, I don't either.
I got you. All right, so in the meantime, the Eagles win 35-13. They're 7-0. They're going to be 10-0. We'll be back Thursday night to tell you about their victory over the Houston Texans. And everybody have a great rest of the night. Store up your energy for the Phillies Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We'll see you Thursday night on the Pond Lehocky Eagles postgame show. Right here, live from Ocean Casino. And I got to put my Batman mask on and get out of here. I'm Mike Missinelli. That's Derek Gunn, Seth Joyner, Devin Caney. We'll catch you on Thursday night right here on the JAKIB Media Television YouTube Network.
Philly sports fans, I'm Tom Giordano from Pond Lehocky Giordano. First and foremost, thank you for watching the Pond Lehocky postgame show. But right now, we're giving away tickets to the World Series. Follow Pond Lehocky on Instagram and check out our posts for your chance to win tickets to all 3 Phillies home games. Go Phillies and go Birds.
At Pond Lehocky, we've recovered billions of dollars for our clients, and we're confident we can do the same for you. With over 250 years of combined courtroom experience, we've helped over 100,000 injured clients obtain some of the largest settlements in Pennsylvania. One conversation is all it takes to help you and your family get back on track. If you've been injured in an accident, give Pond Lehocky a call.
Jim Gardner is an icon.
A Philadelphia treasure.
He's a mentor, a pace setter.
Jim is my North Star.
He's trusted, revered.
Appreciated.
He is Action News.
He's compassionate, honest,
and fair. He is extremely dedicated, motivated, and always seeking the truth.
He's also funny.
We are a team of many.
Jim Gardner is our leader,
and we're lucky to have him.
Go passionately. Go fearlessly. Go confidently.
Go Birds!
Go confidently towards your goals with First Trust, Philly's hometown bank for nearly 90 years, and the official bank of the Philadelphia Eagles. We're focused on getting you over the goal line. So go with conviction. Go with trust.
Go Birds!
And go forward with us by your side. First Trust Bank, the official bank of Philadelphia dreams. Oh, and go Birds.
We all know that taxes are just part of life. It's true during our working years, but also in retirement. But what you might not know is up to 85% of your Social Security benefits might be taxed. Our team at Thrive Financial has helped retire thousands of people across the Delaware Valley by asking questions they never knew they needed to ask, including how their Social Security benefits might be taxed. It's time to be proactive on taxes. Get your Thrive Retirement Tax Playbook today.
Celebrating the life of your loved one is what we do at Life Celebrations by Givenish. When the matriarch of the Dalloway family died suddenly at 82 years old, Life Celebrations by Givenish stepped in.
They will make this the easiest thing that I know it's not easy, but they will make this as easy as possible.
Life Celebrations by Givenish, customizing services as unique as the individual.
I just know that my dad, who is in charge of everything, was not in charge of anything at that point when my mom passed. And again, just another shout out to this place for making it easy.
Turning tragedy into a celebration of life, no matter how hard, is what we do at Life Celebrations by Givenish. Life Celebrations by Givenish, customizing services as unique as the individual.
Since 1977 at Rafferty Subaru, we have always been about our customers and the community. Early on, a safe and durable option, we've evolved to become the best overall brand according to Kelley Blue Book. Over the last 14 years, we've donated thousands of dollars through the Subaru Share the Love event and found homes for hundreds of pets. The Rafferty family is proud of our 45 years in business. This month, celebrate our anniversary with special financing on select models. Visit us and see why.